following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, everybody. You know, July 4th has come and gone. The fireworks are all put away. Everyone's eating their hot dogs and vegan burgers. But you know what? Horror still rolls on. I hope you watch Jaws. I hope you watch Return of the Living Dead. But like I said, the horror rolls on during this year of 2023. And we got The Nun Part 2 that's going to be coming out. Uma Thurman and Samuel L. Jackson, along with Joe Manganiello, will be showing up in the Kill Room. Hey, there's another Insidious film as well coming out. Can you believe that? But hey, you know what that means? More Lynn Shay, and you can never get enough of her. Yeah, there's another Amityville film coming out, The Amityville Prison. Who really wants to see that? Not me. You guys? I hope not. And, you know, I live up here in Maine, and right down the street, not too far from me, is the Maine Independent Film Festival, and I'll be checking that out. That's going on right now. Oh, and by the way, one other thing. We got the lovely Rachel Shadow from Zombie Girls Horror Podcast joining us tonight. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to episode 571 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of La Swag within the Raven Chateau and Casa de -0. I guess we're not in the attic today, we're somewhere else, and also from the West Coast, the other coast, we are joined, as mentioned in the intro, by Rachel from the Zombie Girls. Welcome again, Rachel. It's great to have you back.
Thanks so much for having me back. I'm so excited to be here and to probably bring the excitement down with my thoughts on this movie.
Oh, boy.
It's about to get real.
Speaking of that movie, we'll be discussing the film Bad Girl Boogey from, I guess at the time, would have been 17-year-old filmmaker Alice Mayo McKay. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that correctly, Rachel? Is it Mayo?
Yeah.
Mayo? Okay.
Yeah. Mayo McKay? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said when I talked to her, so let's hope.
So we'll be talking about that film, and I think Rachel is a good person to have on board because it definitely explores some interesting themes and territory. So we will dive into that during the film discussion. But until then, let's play a little catch up with Rachel and see what's going on over in her world and in the Zombie Girls world and the podcast. What would you call it, Raven Shadow? An empire? Was that podcasting empire?
You can call it an empire. You can call it a regime. I call it a dynasty.
What do you call someone who runs a dynasty? Like, are they empresses? I think I need a title.
Oh, you're an
empress.
empress.
Call it that.
Yeah.
The West Coast Empress.
You're the San Fran Empress. There you go.
I don't know. Yeah, San Francisco is pretty rough these days, so that sounds about right. Yeah, things are going good at the Empire, the Dynasty. We're just trucking along, doing our thing. We're going through. Now this is like maybe a shame hole. I shouldn't admit this publicly, but I had never seen the Final Destination films because they are.
I never have either.
Absolutely.
So,
oh, really?
yeah,
okay, so it's you.
So bad.
Do you suffer from what?
Raven Shadow, have you seen any?
Look at this. We're coming out of the closet tonight.
Raven Shadow, are you coming out too?
It's going to get weird, I'll tell you that much, brother. But no, I saw the first two, if not three. But I have been following along with
you playing along at home?
I've been playing along at home.
It's crazy that none of us have seen it, but Raven Shadow has.
Wild.
That's might be the first.
That's a Twilight Zone episode right there.
Well, 'cause that's
We're
why I
in the
went.
upside down.
Everyone on the show. Oh yeah, because have you seen? You haven't done 3 yet. You haven't done part
We
3.
just recorded 3. It's not out yet. And let me tell you, it is not, if you have any sort of like paranoia or OCD or any, these are not good movies for you because they just will validate all of your worst instincts. Like now I'm just seeing signs. Like I always want to put on a tinfoil hat and these movies are not asking me to remove them. So
No,
but
no.
yeah.
I completely adored the second discussion, and much like everyone on the show, you cannot pass a truck carrying lumber or trees without having an anxiety attack after that picture.
I've never seen one of them on the road in my life. Now I feel like I see them everywhere. There isn't even logging in the Bay Area. How am I seeing trucks like this? But there's again, it's playing into my paranoia. It's making me even more of a weirdo. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going through that back catalog right now on the Stream Queens. That's like kind of the main thing going on right now. So like all of us on the show, except for Raven Shadow, you have not watched them. Come join me in our reviews as I spiral into total paranoia.
So there's that. Obviously there's the Zombie Girls proper. There is
yes.
Help me out here, Raven Shadow. The Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
The untitled Nicolas Cage. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Most recently, they covered. Oh no, I got this, Rachel. Rachel, they covered The Vampire's Kiss, the Cage movie where he ate a cockroach for real. Not proud of it, but it was the 80s.
Yes, that movie is very much a product of the 80s, and we had like a big disagreement about that movie. I surprisingly was the one that was the more positive on it of the two of us. And next up, we're doing we're gonna have like a game night. We're gonna play Dead by Daylight because Nick Cage is a character in that. So that's the next thing we're doing with Untitled Nick Cage.
Well, that should be fun. I think they just released the trailer, like a new trailer yesterday or today. And I watched. I guess it wasn't it was super vague about what it was going to be, but I guess he's a new survivor. So, he's. I at first I thought he might have been a monster. I was like, well, maybe they're going to make him into a monster. So,
I mean, the Cage rage kind of lends itself to like that would actually be amazing. I think they might have missed it on that one.
Yeah, I was thinking like it would be cool if he like changed. I obviously it's a fucking rights nightmare, but if in like. In one hand, he's like Renfield, and then another, he's like crazy Mandy, like revenge dude with a chainsaw. I thought it'd be cool if he changed characters or something to make it interesting. But I'm sure that would have been a nightmare for rights and all that. So
you should like work in games or something, Wolfie.
I should. That's a good idea. I'll look into that. We got some chat. Creepy Girl says Rachel is cute as a button as always.
Oh, look who's talking. I've now seen Creepy Girl, so I can say feeling is mutual, my friend. Feeling is mutual.
And we have Skeletron's hanging out. What's up, Skeletron?
Good boy.
And let's see. Skeletron's playing Dead by Daylight right now, he says. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice. And, worlds colliding.
Yeah, and Creepy Girl was shocked that we haven't seen the Final Destination films.
Yeah, we let her down today, guys. We let her down.
Oh.
I feel like I do that on a weekly basis. What else, Raven Shadow? You were mentioning some of the titles, some of the podcast titles.
Oh yeah, and then on the oh my god, I'm having fucking dementia. The more fucking deadly. The more deadly program. Listen, today they had a great discussion about kind of a fucked up film. Jagged. It wasn't Jagged. It was Jagged Little Pill. That wasn't Jagged Little Pill. It was Jagged. Let me just check my Stitcher account while I can, because that's away soon. But no, I checked that out. That discussion. This is fucking awesome, and embarrassing myself with my dementia. Jagged Mind. Jagged fucking Mind. Check that shit out.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, and we did have a fun conversation. The director is so interesting. She didn't start out as a director. She started out as an archaeologist who basically discovered the love of filmmaking on an actual dig site before she went off to make movies, and now she's making Hulu horror films, and I love it. Very, very
Wow.
cool. Kelly Colley is her name. Really, really talented, really, really interesting person, and an interesting movie.
Well, I was riveted too because even the story about getting there, about how then she was, she unearthed that Haitian corruption fucking
Oh,
thing.
right.
Like I'm like, oh my, make that movie. Like make about the evil Haitian fake nun that was doing child fucking slavery, and that, yeah, check out that episode. Fucking More Deadly podcast, Jagged Mind.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, thank you. You actually really listen. Holy shit. I don't even listen to my show. I'm impressed.
It's funny if you only knew like his background, like whenever we'd have guests on the show, we would like talk about it, and Ravenshaw would never listen to the podcast. And now he, like, it's funny, it's been a role reversal because since I'm mostly working from home now, I don't have any commuting time, so I don't really listen to podcasts anymore. I mostly listen to music because I can't really do podcasts while I work.
Right.
So it's funny, like now he's the one, he knows all this stuff, and so that's why I'm lean on Ravenshaw when it comes to podcasts and what's going on. I occasionally try to tune in here and there. I still go out driving and go to the store and do things like that, but a lot of times it's like my podcast listening is dwindled quite a bit. So,
and there's a lot better podcasts out there to listen to. Let's be honest.
I am riveted by anytime you and Ariel get together. I'm very excited that her neighbors moved out, and I'm trying to think about things that we can kind of do to not let new people move in, but that's take that off.
Yeah, we are. So that is like a call out we have out to the listeners. Like we're trying to find ways to prevent someone moving in from above her, because she has been through a lot with her neighbors. If you listened, you would hear the many, many things they put her through. And so we're like trying to make it seem haunted or something, whatever. We're trying to discourage. So if anybody has creative solutions for keeping an apartment empty, let us know. Hit us up, slide into the DMs or the threads. I don't know how those work now.
You could just, what you do, just every time, like at night, just put police tape like on the door, so that whenever someone comes to look at it,
police tape.
Yeah. So when someone comes to look at it, they're like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, and then when they show it off, they're like, "Oh, that's nothing. I don't know what that is." And then they feel like they're trying to cover it up. So tell her to get a roll of police tape, and every night or every morning or something like that, just put some on the door.
I'm gonna send her some in Amazon.
It'll never rent.
Because we love to just sending Ariel things without explanations, be they police tape or titty buckets, whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah, I mean, same difference, right?
Was it dirty work where they were selling the house and they were wearing like the Nazi gear on the front lawn? They were, "How you doing?" In the morning, they were wearing like the full armbands. Or then I suddenly picture Coming to America, where it's like, damn shame what they did to that dog, shit like that. But, we don't want to get evicted, but it's all fun loving, without getting evicted.
Oh, Marion has a suggestion: get plastic cockroaches for the hallway.
Yeah.
Ooh, see, I knew this is where you come for the mayhem suggestions. You guys are just like a font of them. I'm gonna see if I can get police tape
and plastic cockroaches.
You guys, I'm just gonna start adding to the cart. So if you have ideas in the chat, now's your time.
Oh shit. Derek Rook is tuning in. He says, "Greetings, gentlemen. Hey. How the hell are? Whoa, this episode looks hauntingly beautiful tonight," he says.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be MZ. What's up, D Rook? I don't know. I don't think Rachel, I don't know if you know Derek Rook or vice versa, but Derek is he's a good friend, and he's an amazing comic book artist, and he's done some incredible stuff. Like recently, Vinegar Syndrome purchased. Oh my God, I almost said Poor Productions. MZ, what's Sean's comic book company?
Rough House.
No, not Derek.
No. You're talking about
we had him on the show. I forget his last name. Sean he used to do
Sean Lewis.
Yeah, Sean Lewis. Yeah. anyways,
Isn't that awful?
yeah, I know. Anyways, his comic book company,
Ibon Press.
Ibon Press. Thank you. Vinegar Syndrome purchased Ibon Press, and they've been re-releasing all the comics. He does like horror comics, like
Cool.
like Maniac and several others. Like was it the Zombie and anyways, like classic like 70s 80s horror films, and he's done comics. And Derek Rook did a bunch of the art for some of them. And Derek also has his own stuff with Rough House Publishing, and yeah, he's a great dude. And we have a great John Carpenter story. We went to go see John Carpenter live together.
Amazing.
So, but he's a good dude. And if people want to check out, Vinegar Syndrome now has all the Ebon Press comics. And I saw some of the packages that they're releasing. They look really fucking awesome. Did you see those, MZ, on Sean's page?
I have. I've seen a couple of posts on them, and they look fantastic.
Yeah, they
I'm
do.
jealous that I don't have it.
Well, hey, you could always just go to Vinegar Syndrome and pick them up.
At vinegarsyndrome.com.
And don't forget Derek's new work, Black Honey, along with
Yes,
MZ
yes,
has it.
I have the hardcover version of Black Honey. Short stories. Steve Van Samson does the stories while Rook takes care of the illustrations. And very good book so far, I got to say.
Nice.
I haven't
Very
read
good
it. I saw the cover. Looks really good.
No, Dick. No, I've read the first story. I've only read one story so far, the first story, and so far, it's really, really good. I'm digging it.
Awesome. So yeah, if folks want to check that out. They did from what you showed, MZ, and from what I've seen Derek post, they did a really bang up job with that package with the Black Honey.
Yeah.
Was that like what had some kind of sauce with it? Wasn't it like a hot sauce, or was it like just honey?
Yeah, it's like it was called Black Honey, but it's just like a really potent hot sauce.
Yeah. So you can get that in the package. So pretty cool stuff. If you guys are interested, give that a look. But D Rook is a great dude, and he's an amazing artist, but he's an even better dude. Let me see. Chat room. Skeletron says, "Yo, what's up, Raven? I'll give you a virtual fist bump," because you said hi to him, I think, or something.
What's up, baby?
And
Do it now. Do it.
Wolfie, Creepy Girl says, "Wolfie, is that gray in your beard? You're too young for that." Yes. Usually the mic covers it up, but let me show. So yeah, look at that. Little gray in the beard. And I'm not too young. I just turned 47.
Look at that.
So
look at that gray.
listen to this guy. What's wrong with gray?
No, but I mean,
there's nothing wrong with it.
No, it's just you got the stripes coming down.
Yeah,
like
racing stripes.
It's kind of like a Bride of Frankenstein sort of thing going on.
I was
if the Bride of Frankenstein was a bearded lady, that's how it would come out looking like.
There's worse things that you could say about my beard. So
Yeah.
Oh, I have, believe me.
I think it's pretty metal, dude. I think it's pretty metal. It's a nice place. Yeah.
It's getting a little bit too long. I gotta take care of it, but I don't want it to look like Ares. I'm not trying to steal his gimmick.
Listen, you leave, too bad.
Yeah, it's true. We steal his power.
Right?
Yeah, the power's in the beard. So
We haven't seen him for a while, and now you have gray in your beard. Wow.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
And Skeletron says, "I've got a couple gray hairs in my beard, and I'm 20." There you go, creepy girl. Never too young, I guess. And Evil Corny says, "Jagged Mind was good. Thanks for covering it, Rachel."
Aw, corny. Yeah, it's really an interesting movie, I think. I think it's an interesting movie. If you guys cover it, I'd be curious to see what you guys think.
Evil Cordy says, "Wolfie, you'll start having to get Just for Men like Raven Shadow."
That's fucked up, man. That's not true.
I know you got some gray coming in too.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's my compliment for the day for you.
Yeah, I was trying to put you over, but that's cool. No, I got a little patch over here and a couple of strands, but what are you gonna do?
MZ's the oldest, and he might have the least amount of gray.
Well, I don't know.
Let's get out the HD cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really show. I have headphones on, but I have a little gray in the hair, but it's a little hard to see.
Oh, you're gonna get the Polly
See a
Walnuts
little.
look, huh?
Polly walnuts? I don't even know what that is.
Like Reed Richards or Hal Jordan.
Oh,
the
okay.
great
Well,
hits.
I'll take those. I know what those are.
Yeah.
I don't know what MZ's talking about.
Sopranos,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen that either.
Wow.
You've
We're
seen
all,
some.
we're all
You don't watch
exposing our
movies,
shame holes
you don't watch
tonight.
TV shows, you don't listen to podcasts. What the hell do you do with your life?
Work and promote this fucking show that no one else promotes. What the fuck do you do? Why are you so late all the time? It's not like you have other stuff to do before we go live on the air.
Aside from running everything, getting
MZ
the
just
fucking-
sits in his fucking chair, and then he's like, why are you guys fucking late? I have to turn Raven Shadow's computer on. Well, no. Raven Shadow turns it on. I have to connect to it.
Yeah.
So I do the work of not only of a producer and a host, but also I got to do Raven Shadow's fucking shit too.
I press the button too. I put the lights on in the room. I have a light over there, and I have a
Do you
light over
change the
here.
settings for your webcam every week and then connect to Skype and then troubleshoot everything?
Marion, do I do that? No, I don't think I do that. But the thing, Wolfie, see, you're a professional. You know what I mean? Like,
Am I?
well, yeah, I mean, not getting paid for your worth, but you are very much a professional in your thing. Me, I'm a podcast entertainer. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm. So I'm an
Podcast
entertainer.
entertainer. What is that? Entertainer.
Yeah.
Whoa. So I'm not a podcast entertainer?
No, you are a podcaster.
Wow.
Oh, so is this like the difference between like a wrestler and a sports entertainer?
I think it is. Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
podcast entertainer, and you're
Wait, say it again. A what?
a podcast entertainer.
You turned to Christopher Walken when you say entertainer.
Yeah, yeah. I keep my
Well,
microphone
entertaining.
in my ass. No, I'm a podcast entertainer.
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 Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. That was, I don't know why, like he was just introducing, Christopher Walken was introducing the Foo Fighters, and it was like just the fucking craziest thing. Him just saying it. Foo Fighters. Who says it like that?
Because he asked them where the emphasis was.
Foo
and, like,
Fighters.
Dave Grohl, he was like, "This is fucking Walken. I know what he's doing." So he totally set it up. Yeah, and Foo Fighters.
But you got, but between the Foo and the Fighters, as you transition from the first word to the next, you got to have that little head jig.
Yeah,
know, like,
it's true. Yeah.
Foo Fighters.
I'm not even gonna attempt it, but I'm like waiting for people to weigh in. Who did the best walk-in? Because we got.
Foo Fighters.
Oh wait.
I do a terrible walking.
Let me see if I can. I want to find it.
Fighters.
You're better than me.
All right, here. Let me. I think this is the video. Let me just see.
Hi, I'm Chris Walken. I'm hosting Saturday Night Live this week with musical guest Foo Fighters.
Oh. Well, that was actually the promo. He does it better
Yeah,
when he actually introduces them. Let's see if I can find it.
Foo Fighters.
Fighters.
My God, it's too early. My face already hurts. Too early in the show.
I
I
thought
think instead of Foo Fighters, I think he's saying Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. Yeah, it's Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
That's a good way to think about doing it.
Yeah, I like the Foo Fighters early stuff. They were
No,
good.
Foof. You gotta say Foof Idas. And you have to
F-O-O-F.
Idas.
I got Foo
I feel
Fighters.
like I'm on drugs.
Whenever it rains, my Foo Fighters.
There was once when we did.
Your Foo Fighters. Flare up.
Foo Fighters.
Wait, let's. I found Dave Grohl impersonating Christopher Walken.
Saturday Night Live, and Christopher Walken was the host.
Amazing.
And he comes up and he's like, he asked us if the accent was on Foo or Fighters. And we know who he is. Like, of course, we know how he speaks. And we said, the accent is on Fighters, actually. So he goes up
How did he
there.
ask you? How did he ask you?
I'm not going to say that because he goes up, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
Foof idas.
Oh god, that's funny.
Oh, shit. That'll never get old.
Christopher Walken's the man too, man. I'll never forget. He did. I don't know how long ago it was. Not maybe about a decade ago. He did a live performance of Peter Pan, and he was Captain Hook, and he's doing this musical number on the ship with a bunch of his shipmates all around him, and they're singing and dancing. And at some point during the song, he completely forgets his dialogue. And this is live TV that's going on.
Yeah.
And I was just dying from this. It was so funny. But yeah, I think you might be able to find it on YouTube where he forgets his dialogue.
What did he do?
I think he just went into a dance, kind of like Ashley Simpson did.
Oh god.
Oh
If I
god.
remember correctly.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
my
Ashley
God.
Simpson did on Saturday Night Live.
Derek Rook says, "Foof idas. I'm dead."
Oof, I did.
My Foo Fighters are acting up. Oh, shit. I don't know what this was in reference to, but Skeletron says, "Bro, that was the most New York accent I've ever heard." That was like 4 minutes ago. And he says, "Sometimes I sit and listen to the Pretender." Foof idas. It never gets old. Oh, fuck. I don't even know what we were talking about before that.
You should introduce them every time they hit the stage on their tours.
Yeah. They should just play that clip every single fucking time.
That alone is worth the price of admission.
I want like an expendable style movie that's just full of weirdos like Christopher Walken
Oh,
and
man.
Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
and like some of the other really strange, character actors.
Oh, shit.
I don't care what they're doing. But I would watch the hell out
Directed
of
by David Lynch, right?
It'd be-
that. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
it'd be, Crispin Glover would be
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yes.
He does the score, too.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
gotta have Crispin Glover. Gotta.
Yes.
Who else?
Who are there
Yeah,
some
who-
other
who are the
weirdos
other
that we could throw in
weirdos?
there?
You get some crazy chicks in there too, like
Wow.
Natasha Lyonne. She's got
Yeah.
a way
Oh.
about her.
she's
Yeah.
awesome. She had some great
Au-
promos.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Yep, I was her. Aubrey Plaza. Yep.
You know what's
Um,
funny? I just looked up weird actors on Google just to see what came up. The first ones that came up, Nicolas Cage, Christopher Walken, Crispin Glover. We nailed the
Bam!
top three. Oh, Steve Buscemi is on there, too.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Gary Busey, Willem Dafoe, John Malkovich, Woody Harrelson,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
That's
Johnny
a fun
Depp?
movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe he plays some weird role from time to time. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, Vincent
I'm thinking
Chiavelli
like-
is on there, MZ.
Vincent
Chiavelli,
Chiavelli.
who's that?
Man, that guy's awesome. Love that guy.
Have you seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Rachel?
I mean, a million years ago,
Okay.
sure.
He was the teacher.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Or,
yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
Using
He's,
Ghost.
that's what I know him from. Yeah, he is an oddball. We could throw him up in there. He could have a minor role.
Mr. Vargas. He'd be like the Professor X of the team.
Would he?
He'd be like the leader of the team, whatever they're doing, whatever the weirdness that they're gonna do. He could be like the guy.
Oh, Jackie Earl Haley's on there. I guess I could see that.
Nice.
He's
Yeah.
not really. He plays
He
weird
doesn't have
characters.
the charisma.
Right. He plays
Like, there has
weird
to-
characters, but
Yeah.
Like you imagine
Well-
he's probably normal in real life. No. We want weirdos.
Right,
Because just
right.
think about the behind the scenes footage.
Like how about like Billy Bob Thornton?
I was
Okay.
thinking him too.
oh,
He's pretty
Paul
weird.
Rubens.
Eddie
Paul
Eddie
Rubens.
Ho is
Yes.
Eddie Ho is tuning in. Who's I know he is in the Zombie Girls podcast Discord.
Oh, it's my boy.
Eddie says
Yes.
Tiffany Shepis.
Oh,
Ooh.
I think that might just be his answer for everything.
Marion says Jeremy Davies is pretty weird.
Yeah. But we're looking for like the god tier weirdos, you know?
God tier weird.
Like how the
That is the name of the episode. Or in contention.
you know, like when you think of a walk-in, like you can picture the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
man.
wow.
We've got
You know-
quite a movie here.
Yeah, we do. This is gold. I can just smell the money right now.
Yeah. Do we want it to be a heist? Are we picturing a heist style movie
Oh.
or
we are now.
Michael Cera shows up on this list.
Michael?
Of course.
That is a god tier
Yes.
weirdo.
Yeah.
With the
Perfect.
mustache.
And Mike, yes,
Yes.
with the mustache. And
With
Mike,
Gotta
the
have them.
mustache.
Michael Berryman. I could get down with that.
Yeah, Michael Berryman. Yeah.
He's
The
he's
Hills
just a
Have
little
Eyes.
weird looking.
Yeah, I think there's looking weird, but there's really
The
kind of
Hills
being
Have Eyes.
crazy. Like, Kiefer Sutherland, he likes drinking in the daytime. You know what I mean? Like, he likes having some sauce.
Marion says Beth Grant. I'm actually not familiar with Beth Grant.
Isn't
Beth
it Hugh
Grant.
Grant's
I think
daughter?
I know who that is, and she's like a really amazing character actor. Is she a weirdo or is she just?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I
You know what? We'll take it. We'll
I
take
don't
it.
know her by name, but looking her up, I absolutely know who she is. She was in Donnie Darko, No Country for Old Men, Speed,
Mhm.
Little Miss Sunshine. I totally recognize her when I see her face. And let's see. Evil Corny says pissed off Keith David, Men at Work era. Keith David.
Emo Phillips.
Oh yes, emo. I can't believe we didn't
Yes.
I
think
was
of
trying to
that.
remember his name.
We talk about emo
Emo
all the
Phillips.
fucking time, which is weird.
Yep. He needs to be in there. He's
Emo
another god
Phillips
tier
is in there.
weirdo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the emo. Yeah, we I guess we're gonna think of a premise.
Mm-hmm.
A heist seems kind of interesting because, like, I would love to see these
Right.
weirdos try to team up and, like, and all try to do something that they need to be on the same page about.
Yeah.
So that
Yep.
could be interesting.
Yeah. And they all would have to have some sort of specialty in order to be able to crack whatever safe or building they need to get
Yeah.
into. One of them needs to be like a weapons specialist. I'm guessing Emo Phillips for that role.
And then he'll quote himself from UHF and say, "Call me Mr.
Call me Mr.
Butterfingers."
Butterfingers. I couldn't remember his name, and I Googled Mr. Butterfingers, UHF actor.
Oh man.
How about Jeff Goldblum?
Oh yes.
That is a god tier weirdo.
I can't believe we
Yes.
didn't
Yeah.
think of him already. Yeah.
Oh my god. He's
Maybe
kind of odd, though.
Yeah, maybe he's the Professor X of the team.
Mhm.
I could see that.
Yeah. I think the name of
Guys,
the
we are
movie.
making the greatest. Okay, like when we say, "Oh, that's not Casablanca." This is Casablanca. Okay, this is our Casablanca.
And I won't lose this one. I promise.
and that's going to be like the name of the team, like the God tier weirdos or something like that.
yes.
Yeah.
GTW.
GTW. We're like this right now. We're vibing.
We are like this, you and me.
Wow.
Because we're both podcast entertainers. That's why.
Podcast entertainers.
Entertainers. See, I go Southern. It's not working for me. Yeah, like it gets a little too antebellum. Let's not do this.
Oh man, there's got to be some. We'll you know what? Throughout the episode, we'll try to think of some other God tier weirdos.
Yeah.
Oh, Skeletron posted shit, what's the room guy's name, MZ?
Oh, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah,
Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because he posted
I
a
think
picture
that's who
of
they're
him.
stealing something from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, God, that movie, unbelievable.
I apologize for my coughing for anyone out there. I have like super bad allergies, so. Let's see. Eddie Ho says a speed dating event masking the heist. I love this. Yeah, we see characters playing off each other while others slip out of the room to do their part in the theft.
Is it weird that is like my dream speed dating scenario? I would just write everyone's name on the list at the end.
That's pretty good because then we could have both. You know, it makes sense to have both guys and girls there as part of it, and they come in and out, and I like it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. TM Hollywood, leave this one alone. It's ours.
Yeah, watch. We're going to see this
Trick or Treat and
pop
Zombie
up.
Girls co-production.
Elijah Wood.
I could see
Did you
that.
include Elijah Wood?
He's just good though. Like I feel like not that these other actors aren't, but I feel like he just plays weirdos. I don't think he is a weirdo, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas
I think
we know
would
Crispin
be-
Glover
he'd
is a
be
fucking
more
weirdo.
subtle. he'd be subtle. I think Elijah Wood would be his role would probably be more subtle. Whereas Crispin Glover, he would just be completely over the top.
Yeah.
Do you think Crispin Glover knows that he's on a movie set, or do you think they just put him on set and then put a camera on him and then work the movie around him? I feel like that's a possibility.
I feel like that
Wouldn't
too.
surprise.
Oh, Corny had a good one. Juliette Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
I
is a weirdo.
love Juliette Lewis. I love
Too.
Juliette Lewis.
Me
I love her
too.
to death.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Yes, another excellent weirdo. I love it. See, this is
yeah.
weirdo excellence right here. Mhm. Yep.
So maybe he's
Mhm.
Professor X of the team. Just saying.
Well, how many fucking
Yeah.
Professor X's are we gonna have here?
We have a lot of
It's a
teachers.
triple X movie. Triple Professor X.
Triple Professor X.
How about
Professor Triple X.
Yes.
how about Jake Busey and Jack Nicholson?
I like Jake. Let's do Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
Jack, I
Jake's
feel
a
like he's not like. I feel like he just plays a fucking weirdo. I don't know. Like maybe he is a
Jack's-
weirdo.
Jack's probably a little fucked up, but yeah, I want Jake Busey.
I want our cast to be like, there's 50% chance that they just actually live in a wall when they're not on camera. Like that's the kind of weirdo I'm looking for.
Oh, Corny also added Courtney Love.
You know what, Courtney?
Oh.
I was thinking Courtney Love. I was thinking Courtney Love.
How about Corny Love?
Courtney Love.
Corny Love.
That
That's
might-
his only Ham's name.
That might be a better nickname than he was given on the Star Wars podcast last night. I don't know if Corny wants me to repeat it because he hasn't said it, but he was called. He was called.
Probably should.
What?
You probably shouldn't.
Why? Do you know it?
I don't know it.
Corny just called me and he said that you should reveal it.
Okay, well, if Corny's, I think it was Rocky that coined horny corny.
Oh wow.
Well, that's not bad. That's fun.
That's all right. I mean,
yeah.
you know,
What is
not
it?
horny corny.
Corny.
Horny.
I feel like coming
horny.
from Rocky, it could have gone so much worse.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
That's just
MZ,
like
do you not
that's
know
just
what
like
that fucking
a
word means?
graze.
Say again.
Do you know what? He's looking at me like I'm a fucking mutant. Horny corny. HORNY.
Horny corny.
How could you not
okay.
understand that?
No, I did. I understand that. I just didn't understand corny, which is what I thought you said.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Monster Zeroes. I feel like when I tried to show my grandfather how to play Pac-Man back in 1980.
Like,
He eats the power pellets.
I used to shoot Nazis. What's
Why
this
is he
about?
eating ghosts? I don't get it. What? Ghosts aren't real.
Huh? Thorny corny?
Thorny corny.
Is he in the bushes? Is that why he's what? Huh?
Thorny corny.
Is he thorny corny?
Is he in the bushes?
Yeah. corny, mush it for me. Cut it off the cob, Margaret.
Oh, will you shut up?
My favorite part in the show is when somebody gets annoyed and then I suddenly feel like I'm in the balcony of the Muppets. Like it's just like
Yeah.
Statler and Waldorf.
yes. Your cat is very cute, MZ.
Thank
Keep
you.
them coming. Oh my God! Look at that.
Is that
breast.
April?
Yep.
What's up, April?
April.
And pause.
Get April a mic. Let's get her on.
Where do you land on this? Are you a podcast entertainer?
You a podcast kitty? No.
Oh wait, my cat's trying to move in over here.
Podcast entertainer.
Foo Fighters.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, a calico. You got a calico?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes,
What's
I do.
what's your little friend's name?
Her name is Leela.
Your little friend's name.
Well, I
That
don't
sounds
know.
so
if
creepy.
I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I don't,
And does
I
it
don't wanna
like
assume.
candy?
uh,
Would it like to
Would
get
it go
in
in my van? Yeah.
Her name is Leela, and she is a little
Leela.
monster, and I love her. And we have another cat named Fry.
Fry.
And he's a fat orange tabby.
Corny says he's dying.
Call him by his name, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Corny.
Is it thorny or horny? Thorny, horny, corny.
Depends on if he's in the bushes.
I kind of want to hear more about you showing your grandfather how to play Pac-Man. Did he understand? Did he get it?
No, he was in World War II. He's a veteran. He don't have fucking time for that. He had to. He was excited. Like he died. I mean, the character he didn't do really well at it, but he did. Leave me to play in the spare bedroom, and then would later put on fucking oh my God, dementia. Benny Hill. And he would take a nap. And
did he take on?
Hill? Yeah.
Did he take on the Nazis in World War II?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so he was.
Did he think that the ghosts in Pac-Man were Nazis? And
So
no, I think he knew.
was your grandpappy like Sisu?
Grandpappy.
Yeah, no, he was.
You're not
Grandpappy
you're not-
Raven Shadow.
You're not talking to Popeye for crying out loud.
But no, yeah, he was. Yeah, he fucking threw down with some
He threw
German.
down.
Saying, you know what I mean? Came back alive, you know what I mean? And he really enjoyed the Cannonball Run films and the Porky's franchise a lot. I would
That
wake up.
almost killed me. He really enjoyed it. Are you filling out a dating profile for him right now?
Yeah, I mean he's on to Valhalla. You know, he's fucking. You know, he's watching Porky's and killing Nazis in the sky. But
Dislikes Nazis, Pac-Man, likes Benny Hill and the Porky's franchise.
Maybe there's like a Valkyrie mingle or something like that, Raven Shadow.
yeah.
Valkyrie mingle. Yeah.
That's sexy, right? Come on now. He liked the candlepin bowling that Monster Zero was really good at, and
Oh, the thing that people think is fake is made up, that MZ made up.
that's for real. No, we watched
I know
Candlepin-
it is, but
Yeah, come to New England, motherfuckers. But yeah, saw a lot of Porkies behind the couch. I would sneak down and like watch the Porkies.
so is he in Valhalla or Folkvanger?
Which is the best one?
Well, it depends.
Folk banger,
Vanger.
Vanger, like
I'm
Wagner.
probably not saying it correctly. I don't have the accent, but that's where Freya took the Fallen to Folkvanger, and then Odin took him to Valhalla.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a finger banger. I mean, that's where I. What? no, yeah.
Grandpappy third base.
Grandpappy third base.
Call him Third Base Johnson.
And playing third base was Grandpappy. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the oh yeah mates come back. MZ hates the band Kiss so much that Raven
Oh.
Shadow does the oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Uh-oh.
shit.
Taking a turn.
MZ, when was the last time you saw Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, though?
Not too long ago. Maybe about 3 months ago,
Oh yeah.
4 months ago.
Oh yeah.
Star Child.
Star Child. That fucking movie, man.
And you got one guy who constantly is talking like Curly from the Three Stooges.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in like at least 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Been a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Oh, Skeletron asked if I've played God of War. I assume he means the Norse one because we were just talking about Norse mythology. I've made it maybe a quarter of the way through. It's tough for me to, as we were talking about earlier. I have so much to do. I don't play very many games these days, but I did play a pretty good amount, maybe a quarter to a third of the way through. Well, we should probably wrap this up soon because we have so much fun when Rachel's on that we almost forget that there's a movie to talk about.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of wrap this up here, and then we can get talking about the movie because we're going to be talking about Bad Girl Boogey.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to discuss this with Rachel. And all right, so let's do the ways you can support the show. So there's a few ways. First, I'm going to talk about Patreon, and for our Patreon supporters, those of you who are our supporters, I posed a question, and for supporters, I'd like for you to go to the Patreon supporter only channel on Discord, and let's see. We got some more comments from folks on here. But we were thinking about doing something different for our 11-year anniversary. In the past, we've had guests on, we've had discussions, we've done all sorts of different stuff. We've done older films that we normally wouldn't do in the weekly show. But the current favorite idea that we have is to do a table read. So for the three of us. And, we'll have a host of guests. Maybe we'll have some people join us live. Maybe we'll have some people join us via voice message. And the idea is that we pick a film and basically do a table read of the script. I don't know if we would do the whole thing. That might be a little much. I don't know if people are going to want to listen to that whole fucking thing. But maybe parts of it. Or maybe what we could do is also, if we want to produce it and make it a thing, we could make it like a 3-part thing, and then do like part 1 on the anniversary show, and then the other 2 could be like Patreon things, where people could check out the rest if they wanted to. That way, you don't have to sit through a whole fucking table read for a whole episode, because it's so hard for us to stay on topic and on focus as it is that I'm not sure we'd ever make it through a fucking film script. So, something to think about, but I wanted to basically get some people's feedback and thoughts about whether they think it's a good idea, and if so, any ideas for what kind of film. We were thinking of doing a comedy of something that we know that we can quote easily. There's our lexicon of films like Weird Science, Police Academy, whatever, like Summer School. But I also want people the Patreon supporters to have a say as well. And maybe there's another option we're not thinking of that might be good. So, so Patreon supporters, please comment on that. It's in Discord. And I'd love to hear from you guys to see what you think of that. So, but if you're not already a Patreon supporter, you can join for as little as $2 a month. And you get access to all of the Patreon exclusive episodes and the Discord and my coughs and everything else. So go ahead and check that out. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. And as I said, you can join for as little as $2 a month. And
Worth every penny.
or you can pay more, and you can
As
do.
a patron, I can. Concur.
Yeah,
It's worth
and
your money. Do it.
Rachel, she puts her money where her mouth is. That's a weird thing to say, but yes. So you guys can do that, or if you want, you can do Patreon Takeover if you get into the higher tier. So give it a look. Consider supporting patreon.trickortreatradio.com. And the other ways you can help support is on trickortreatradio.com. Go to the main website, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it, and then it's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. So everything you purchase in that session will get attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, though, Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So consider using that. And then finally, you can go to trickortreatradio.com and then click on store, and we have the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio volumes 1 through 3. So you can go ahead and help support there and get the greatest hits. All right, so those are the ways you can support. Patreon, Amazon on our website, and then also the store on our website. Now, Raven Shadow, you sit down and watch Bad Girl Boogey. What do you do to prepare for this one?
I went to go see another movie, Wolfie.
To prepare?
In the theater.
What does boy be talking about in the theater?
Man, I saw it in the theater.
Oh, I gotta interrupt you, Raven Shadow. Fucking Patreon supporter, Skeletron, motherfuckers.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Skeletron. Appreciate it, bud. Means a lot. Thank you so much. And
Dude.
we always promote his stuff, but just, I feel like since he supported us, everyone go check out Skeletron. Skeletron posts where people can find your music, because I know it's on various platforms. I know it's on YouTube. People can check it there, and I believe it's also on Spotify and all that stuff. So maybe if Skeletron could post that, I'll go ahead and make sure I get it right. Continue, Raven Shadow.
Well, and also, too, Skeletron's been added to many of our shows over the years. Super talented, super killer dude. And thank you, Boo. But no, with that said, I think Mary and I, we went to the cinema, as they say in England. Linus, what's up? You know what I mean? We saw The Flash. Or as some folks might say, the third Michael Keaton Batman picture. And I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the actor who's the star of the picture. I'm not particularly a fan of their take of the character. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed this movie. I know there's been some issues in the press. I don't know. I can't speak to all that.
So you're talking Ezra Miller, right?
Yeah. I don't think is it. Maybe it's some things they can come back from. I'm not sure if it's, they're no Kevin Spacey to my understanding. I don't know.
There was some pretty shitty stuff. Like I think
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Apparently there's some mental stuff going on. Hopefully they can get it figured out. But yeah, that's from what I understand. There's not much about it recently, so hopefully they're getting help and take care of that.
And that's hopefully that's the case. But with that said, I really enjoyed this picture. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's more of a series of really great high spots. All the bat stuff is killer. If you're a bat, any kind of bat fan, you will find something to mark out for this. And I definitely popped for a certain line. Don't call it a callback, but I will. And I gotta say, the opening scene, there's a demographic of people in peril that we've never seen in peril like this before. Which, like, heavens, are they going there? Yep. Wow, they are going there. So I really enjoyed it. See it in the cinemas. We had a gift card, and Marion's a Star Pass member. So, matinee.
No, she's not an A-lister, though?
No.
So
No, she's not
are you more
precious.
like an I don't know, like an R-lister or something?
More like a B-lister.
You should not a Z-lister.
Yeah.
I'm a J-lister.
I'm an A-lister. I can't do the
Where's my
voice.
popcorn?
I can't do the voice and the Christopher Walken. Hey, lister.
More of a B-lister. You know,
Hey, lister.
matinee tickets in the rain on Sunday.
That is really good.
Oh, better believe. Strapped on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action.
horror.
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast!
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you got to check out Trick or Treat Radio.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Did you say a bouquet of dildos?
And we are back on Trick or Treat Radio. And it is time to talk about a movie. Let's go ahead and get the movie poster up there. All right. So we're going to be talking about Bad Girl Boogey. This film got a festival release in 2022, but it got a limited theatrical and VOD release in 2023. And let's see. The film is 80 minutes. It is a drama horror, and it is directed by Alice Mayo McKay, and it is written by Alice and Benjamin Paul Robinson. And the film stars Lisa Fanto, Prudence Cassar, Stephen Nguyen, Toshiro Glenn, Louis Dawson, Georgie Kufone, Chris Asimos, and M. Bleby. And the synopsis, let's see. Halloween blood is shed by the wearer of a parasitic mask cursed with black magic and bigotry. Angel's friends are killed by the person wearing the same mask. They must overcome their struggles, fight, fear, find the killer before he slaughters everyone. So, sorry, coughing fit. Oh my God, it's the worst.
Oh man, I feel so much for you because I've so been there. That like fire asthma is the worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
And
you need to have a air purifier blasting and then also a humidifier because the air will be hella dry.
All right. Meanwhile, I have a little
Wolfie and Iron Lung.
I think the killer is now targeting you.
Yeah. Doesn't help that I podcasted last night too for a few hours. So, all right, let's see if I can get through this. So Alice McKay. This is the first film that we are doing from Alice, and Alice has, I think, one other film that's available. It's called So Vam, and we actually almost did that on the show last year. I'm not sure why, but I think it just came out at a time when there was a few other films, and then we ended up just, it ended up kind of getting pushed down, and it never got brought back, unfortunately. So, but I know that you've talked to Alice on the show, Rachel. So
yeah,
it'll be good to have your perspective of, of having talked to the director. But this is the follow-up, Bad Girl Boogie, and then also Alice has another movie coming out like in weeks, called T Blockers.
Yep.
And so looking forward to that one as well. So I was curious. I definitely wanted to jump in and kind of check out a film from Alice. And I don't know a lot about Alice, but I do know that Alice is a trans filmmaker from Australia. And when she made this movie, Bad Girl Boogie, she was 17. So, I mean, crazy. I don't know how old she was when she made So Vam, but I'm guessing it probably would have been about 16, maybe. 15,
she was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was 16 when she started filming that movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
she is quite the wonderkind.
Yeah, that alone is ridiculous. I think it's awesome and it's crazy, and there's so many different things going on there. It's like from a teenager living on the other side of the world from us, anyways.
Yeah.
And someone who is trans, and dealing with trans and queer, sort of like topics in the films. And I don't know, I think horror has come a long way in the last couple of years in terms of the substance behind it. A lot of it used to be just like titillation and gore, and sure, there's a lot of films that do have social commentary in there, but I feel like it's becoming a lot more present in the last several years, that we're dealing, like a film like Get Out, for example, just to call out one that, and then there's a whole host of others. We did on the show with Rachel before, Teton, that was another one. And so, but it's good. I feel like it's really important that we're getting films that are tackling sort of more difficult content and kind of weaving it into the narrative of a horror film. So, this one was one that I was really interested in checking out. And so we're gonna sort of get our first look into the world of Alice Mayo McKay and see sort of what she has up her sleeve and kind of go from there. So I'm curious, Rachel, if you wouldn't mind, like synopsizing your conversation. Like, I'm going to look up the episode so people can go check it out if they want to hear your interview with Alice. But maybe for, if you wouldn't mind, like, kind of synopsizing a little bit about your conversation with Alice, some of the points that kind of stuck with you.
Well, I'm really wishing I went back and listened to that episode right now.
Yeah, I know, putting you on the spot.
We talked a lot about her original film. Sovam is about, it's again the lead character is a gay kid in a small town in Australia who is subject to a lot of bullying and has dreams of being a drag queen, who gets sort of seduced by an older man who is a vampire, and he gets turned and he gets pulled into this group of like queer trans vampires who are basically taking down the oppressors, whether they be bullies or even their leader, who is like clearly exploitative. And it's very punk rock in the same way that this one is. So we talked a bit about sort of the inspiration behind it, her own real world experiences and the bullying that she pulled from to put into those films. We talked about, her point of view and how incredible it is at her age. Like, I think about what a mess I'm a mess at 44, I can't even imagine trying to have like a clear point of view at 16, 17, 18 years old, but she very much does. And she has something to say. And, she's quite young. So when we talked to her, she was a little bit shy, but incredibly endearing. But incredibly intelligent, thoughtful, and has a very potent and powerful worldview and an important voice. So we talked a little bit about that, and as well as just sort of like the origins of her filmmaking career. And yeah, I find her deeply inspiring as creative, as a woman. Like, I'm hopeful for her her films are incredibly entertaining, but also forms of activism that I find really inspiring. So yeah, I would go listen to that interview just to hear her talk about things, because she's amazing, and I cannot wait to see what she does as her career grows and she gets more of a budget, because she's doing this with no money.
Yeah.
Everything is like crowdfunded. So imagine when they give her a budget, what she's going to be able to do. So yeah, go check that out. And also, I would say Sovam is on Shudder, and we're all a bunch of horror nerds. We all have Shudder. So check that out as well, especially in conjunction with this, because you can really kind of get a taste for her voice with the two, I think.
And so it looks like, was this a Patreon maybe?
No, it's one of the so we have More Deadly, but we also do these extra episodes.
Yeah,
the director's cut, where we talk to the women who make the movies we love so much.
Okay, that's what it was. So I was having trouble finding it. Yeah. But if you guys just search for More Deadly, the director's cut with Alice Mayo McKay of Sovam, and it was August 23rd, 2022. So if you guys want to, I just did a quick Google search, and it came right up. So if you want to hear that and hear an interview with Alice, you could check that out. And one other thing I feel, well, let me first ask you, Rachel, do you talk about your day job on podcasts? I don't want to,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you also want to just kind of tell folks just a kind of high level, sort of like what you do for work?
Sure. I am the editor-in-chief of Pride.com. It's primarily entertainment, pop culture, but we do some politics. We do a lot of like sex and dating, anything sort of Gen Z, like late millennial, like that kind of, age range we're talking to typically. So as a horror nerd, I fully use it as an excuse to talk to like every queer filmmaker I can. And so I think actually, if you don't want to listen to the episode, you can also go on Pride.com and check out my written interview with Alice, because I fully double dipped. But yeah, so I mean, these are topics that are near and dear to my heart. They're things that I talk about, that I write about, that I think about on a daily basis. I do not profess to be an expert about the trans experience. It is not my experience. But I do have some adjacent familiarity with it.
Yeah. And, and I think I think that's important, because, like for us, me, MZ, Raven Shadow, I'm going to use the C word that you can't say on Twitter anymore, apparently. But we're, white cisgender males, and, our perspective is, like that's one perspective. And I feel like we're all trying to sort of expand our horizons. And that's one thing that we've been doing on this show since we started. And if you've been listening for, more than a couple of years, you probably will have seen some of the growth of sort of, what we've gone through, and, and sort of opening ourselves up to different ideas and concepts, and trying to be allies to the people that need it, and all that. So, that's why I feel I'm actually really happy that we have Rachel on board for this, because we get a different perspective. It's not just, 3 white dudes just talking about it, 3 straight white dudes, I should say,
And
yeah, well.
Yeah.
So, just wanted to kind of put that out there. And actually one other thing, like, this is sort of I'm going to get a little political here for a second, but
yeah, do it.
So I don't want to talk too much about it, but Supreme Court last week sort of made this fucking dumbass ruling that anyone could turn down business from somebody because they're gay or trans or whatever. And first of all, it's bullshit. But if that can happen, I saw, speaking of The Sopranos, what's his, Michael Imperioli, is that his name, Raven Channel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Christopher. Yeah. Okay. So he said, he made like a post on social media and said, after the court ruling, he said, I don't want any bigots or homophobes. He's like, I'm banning bigots and homophobes from participating in anything that I've ever been in, because if the court can say this, then you know what, I can say that. And I agree with him. I thought that was fucking awesome that he said that. And if there's anyone out there listening that's a bigot or homophobe, first of all, fuck off. Second of all, do not listen to the show.
Kick rocks.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Go eat some paste.
Third of all, fuck off again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not allowed to rent here anymore. Yeah.
You know what you could do, pal? You could go fuck yourself right over there.
So I just wanted to make sure that was, because I didn't get a chance. I don't think we talked about it last week. So just wanted to kind of call that out. And, we are trying to be better people and to sort of hear and listen and kind of hold space for people to talk about their stories and to learn from that and to try to better sort of navigate the world around us with these experiences that we're learning. So that's kind of where we stand. And so once again, that's why I'm glad that Rachel's along for the ride here and helping us steer us in the right direction. Sometimes we may need it, but
Ooh. The blind leading the blind tonight. I don't know that I've ever steered anyone in the right direction, but I'm happy to take the wheel.
Our lives are in your hands.
Circles.
Yeah. Look, kids, Big Ben Parliament. All right, so let's jump into the movie. So this, as mentioned, this is like, when you say low budget, like this is the low budget end of the low budget. I think it was made, I'll look it up again, but I think it was $16,000.
I think it was 18.
18? Okay.
I think IMDb said 18.
Okay. So, I mean, regardless, under $20,000 for a fucking movie is insane.
Yeah.
It's an insane amount of money.
So here's a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do movies really need to be as expensive as they are?
No.
Nothing needs to. I mean, do CEOs need to make fucking millions of dollars? No, but
right.
No, of course not. I mean, a majority of that money's a majority of those movies' budgets goes to the actors, the actresses, and also promotion and promoting that film costs millions.
Well,
and
typically
millions.
that's not in the budget, though. Like when you look at a budget, the marketing is separate, I think. So when you look at the cost of a movie, typically marketing is a separate amount. But regardless, it's insane. I mean, like, you have literally an army of people working on it, though. So, and to pay, for all the CG and stuff that gets done, like to pay these animation houses, it ends up being a lot of money for that. So it's, do they need to cost that much? No, but they do. That's just the way it is,
And it's funny, like one thing I said before on the show, like where I currently work, has been, they film some Hollywood pictures in walking distance to where I work. Most notably was the movie American Hustle with Christian Bale, Jeremy Renner, where they use some significant scenes, literally like less than a cigarette smoke from my work.
That's Raven Shadow's measure of time.
A measure of time, right? Like, oh, it's half a fucking, it's 4 drafts. Get to wear fucking Christian Bale. Studio 54, when it was actually the Midtown Mall, for those who live in the local Worcester Polytech area. They blocked out the streets for 2 days. They covered all the buildings to look like 70s storefronts. None of that footage was used in the picture, aside from one scene of Renner crossing the street in the trailer. And that was like $1 million, whatever the fuck, because they paid all those businesses what they would lose for a day.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a big Hollywood picture, but once again, none of it was fucking used. So whatever she made for her picture, I think all of it was on the screen. Is where I'm trying to get.
For sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the big difference between like a big budget movie like that and a small budget. I'm sure stuff got cut from this, but I mean, typically it's like, 1 or 2 people are maintaining the vision as opposed to having like a board of directors trying to make calls, and doing like fucking, different screenings, engaging audience engagement and engaging audience engagement. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But just, kind of seeing like, how people enjoyed it and what they reacted to and what they didn't, so it's a completely different experience. And, with that comes, you can sometimes, I'm not referring to this movie specifically yet, but a lot of times in low budget films, you can see the seams, you can see where a little bit of money would have helped to sort of like, make a difference. So there is that. I mean, you have to also keep in mind that, this is a lower budget movie. There may be some stuff that is in there that doesn't, that maybe doesn't quite look as good as it should or it could. So, but yeah, so with this one, less than 20,000. So of course, maybe the acting, you're probably not paying the actors very much. And so
maybe they're signing a waiver where they can't take any money from the film. Maybe they have to do that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things going on with small budget films. But all right, well let's dive into this one. And so we have like I would say I think it was like a 15-minute post title scene where we're sort of like, it doesn't state how many years ago, but it was like several Halloweens ago. And we see these 3 teenagers, I think, or younger adults who are performing what looks like some sort of ritual. They're making I actually found it kind of funny because they're making a circle, and one of them did a Star of David and not a pentagram, and and that to me says they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I actually thought that was really kind of funny because a lot of times in movies, they play like they know what the fuck they're doing, and it's clear that they don't, But I like that there was some kind of a tongue-in-cheek aspect of that to this. But one of them finds a mask in the other room when they're looking for salt. They put the mask on, and clearly there's something going on with this mask. There's something supernatural about it, and so she ends up killing her friends. And then that's sort of where that, kind of a quick, maybe 10 minutes or so, and that's when that scene ends, and then we get the titles and all that. So, and then from there, I'm not going to go through the whole kind of plot, but that's sort of where we set the tone here. So this mask, there's something supernatural about this mask. The wearer becomes super violent, and we'll talk about a little bit more what the mask means. But there's a heightened sense of violence and aggression to the person who wears the mask. And there's a little bit of I guess lore behind the mask too that we'll sort of get into a little bit later. But let's do I don't know, this is kind of maybe a little bit different for us, but I kind of want to get some impressions. Not necessarily what, like our verdict, but kind of what stood out about this film. What are some things we liked, some things we maybe didn't like or whatever. So I'm going to put Rachel on the spot, and I guess Rachel, just give some kind of first impression kind of things about this movie for you and kind of what stood out to you.
Yeah, I mean, having seen Sovam, I kind of maybe had a better idea going into this what to expect. Like I understood her sense of humor. I understood a little bit about her style because she has a very like clear, sort of almost giallo-esque style that she likes to employ in some scenes with the lights. So I was expecting that, and I was glad to see some of that there. That is definitely kind of a trademark. Well, a mark of her style. I also. Yeah, so I kind of knew also budgetary kinds of things. I was expecting that. I recognized some of the actors from the previous film. I've completely lost my train of thought. I've had too much coffee. But yeah, so I had kind of an idea of what to expect when I went into this, and was excited to see what she was going to say in this one, and was happy to see a lot of those kinds of things there that she has a unique worldview perspective, and the way that she sort of plays in the supernatural slasher genre and incorporates those ideas, I think is really interesting. The way that she, it's fun. She does the thing that horror movies do really well, right? That it is sort of the spoonful of sugar that you get the medicine with, where she is talking about really important social issues from a very specific perspective, but it feels like a fun, entertaining slasher. But there's little subtle things, like when we get into the mythology in particular, that I think only could kind of come from her worldview, that I think is really interesting. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And just to kind of riff off that a little bit, and I'm going to segue into MZ, but I definitely got a lot of giallo influence in this with the lighting and even the names. And there was a Nickelodeon Street, which I'm sure MZ picked up on, aka Daria Nickelodeon, who is was Dario Argento's partner for a long time, and also is Ozzy Argento's mother. And so I got that, and there was a character named Dario, right? Like I think one of the main characters. Yeah. So they're definitely that alone. I mean, that is something that a lot of directors will do in their early films. Like they will pay homage to characters by having a character name like Romero or Raimi or whatever. Like we've seen this a million times, and so I think Alice kind of wears her influences on her sleeve a little bit on this. And that's, it wasn't distracting. Sometimes it can be a little distracting, but the names were, I think, sort of generic enough. Dario isn't necessarily a name you see very often. But having Nickelodeon Street, that was a little bit better than calling someone, with that name or something like that. So, yeah, I definitely got that vibe. So, MZ, I'm going to transition to you. And this also had some pretty fucking gnarly gore, I will say, as well, which I was not necessarily. Yeah, actually, I'm going to say the scalping. I was watching this with Tanya, and she tapped out at the scalping. It's not that she didn't want to see it.
The scalping was fun.
But she's very empathetic, and when there's like torture scenes, it's really rough for her. So it's something we might have pushed on with, but she had other stuff to do, so she's like, I'm gonna actually tap out right here. So, but MZ, go ahead and kind of speak to, just kind of some of the stuff that you noticed. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it was I wasn't sure at first. I didn't feel like rewinding it to make sure that I heard what I thought I heard, but I could have sworn I heard someone say Fulci in there somewhere. I think it was like during the car ride between Dario and Angel. But yeah, the influences are definitely there. The Giallo style is definitely there. The flashes of red and blues and the strobe light effect. Well, maybe not so much the strobe light effect is considered Giallo, but when you tack on that red gel or the blue gel or the green gel, you got yourself something going on there, and it looks good. The gore is a lot of fun. The scalping scene was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that. They get really hyper violent when they get this mask on them, and it makes things interesting. Just vicious stabbings. I mean, and I'm not like, and the stabbings aren't like you thrust a knife into someone and it just kind of goes in. There's a lot of force going into them, but then again, it takes a lot of force to actually stab a human body. I mean, you go pound, pound, pound. So the viciousness is there, and you see it, you hear it. It looks and sounds good. Also, with the whole trans perspective here, you could see that Alice here, what's her name? Mackie. McKay.
Alice Mackey. That's her cousin from Koima.
Okay. You can see that she does have a lot to say, and for such a young person, she kind of expresses it out there really well. In fact, you get to see the bigotry and the hatred for trans or for bi or lesbian, gay, whatever, and you see how these people, we live in a world now where they don't deal with that crap anymore. They don't put up with it, and they fight back, and that's great, And so the commentary is there on how the LGBTQ community is like standing up, taking, and people are taking notice of them, and not putting up with anybody's crap anymore, no matter what. But I like the way this film. I like the way this film looks so far. It's got a social message. It's the gore is definitely there. There are references to other horror films and horror styles in this film. And at only 17 years old, this
at the time of this one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. She seems to know what she's doing. She's and that's a highly positive thing. Something that we need.
Yeah. How about you, Raven Shadow?
So going into this, I didn't know anything aside from the title and that the director was very young. And so watching this could be a slasher, a typical slasher that we've all seen a bunch, of over the years. I knew I had a micro budget, but I think that what was cool was what was done with the budget. I knew that, but I was still along for the ride. I liked the botched, attempt of. That's the thing. Don't fuck around with supernatural chicanery. Even if I am the Han Solo on the team. I want to be Luke Skywalker, but in reality, I'm more Han Solo, where I've never seen any kind of all-powerful force. But I'm not going to fuck around just to fuck around. You know what I mean? I did pop at the Star David line. But then the mask I thought was really cool. I did like the several Halloweens later.
yeah.
And which is just kind of funny to me. Because overall, I think aside from was it Leela wearing the Ghost t-shirt, this could have been set in the late 90s, early 2000s, because this felt like when we were kind of coming up at clubs.
Yes.
Right, Rachel? Like
Mm-hmm.
they may have had a cell phone. I don't know, but Aries had a cell phone in a bag.
It kind of was. I mean, and maybe this is kind of where you're getting at, but it kind of was a punk rock movie too.
It's very punk rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it feels like a movie that came out of the 90s. Like, I'm a 90s kid, and I remember the boom of indie films, and this has that sort of baby nihilism that was in a lot of those movies. Yeah.
I think baby nihilism should be added to some of the things we have already going on here, but that's pretty good too. but fair, and I liked when we see I like the gang. I liked was it Angel, and Lila was kind of a bad girl, which I'm with that.
You love bad girls in movies.
I do. Well, not just in movies. But...
All right. Well, yeah. I don't want to put Marion on the spot.
No, Marion's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm saying there's a certain downfall to Raven Shadow that some people might know about. But just saying. But no, I like the Scooby Gang. I like the fucking, fucked up asshole in the van. You know what I mean? I like the team and going to the club. And actually, I saw before that the next wearer of the mask. That was fucked up. Oscar. That fucking guy in the scene with the therapist. That was
yeah.
Oh shit. And there was some great scenes. There's a scene in the beach where a character is in pain. That I thought, wow, this is done really, really well. And I think what this director did, and we're going to get into it more, I'm sure, but she focused on what needed to be done for the story. There wasn't a lot of need to show superfluous detail.
Wow. Timestamp. Raven Shadow used the word superfluous.
I hand you my monocle,
yeah,
sir.
Yeah. Are you wearing a monocle under those glasses?
Because I've been listening to the Zombie Girls.
Oh.
Do you sit there with a dictionary?
So that's what you're gonna say, Raven Shadow. I learned how to talk by listening to the Zombie Girls.
I learned it by watching you.
Yeah. Available on all podcatchers except for Stitcher as of August, whatever the fuck you Stitcher. But you didn't have to have scenes of fucking 12 police cars show up. Sometimes just play the fucking sirens. You don't need all this gratuitous stuff. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I like the intro and then the second intro, and then the story kicks in. And I was kind of I like the kids, I like the Scooby Gang. So now let's see what's going on. So I'm at this point I'm with it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Mm-hmm. And for me, so the good, and this is kind of what you guys were saying, is I like that it's sort of, I'm going to one up you, Raven Shadow. I'm going to try. It eschewed all the sort of the unnecessary stuff, like you
so
talked
grandiloquent tonight.
Moments of eloquence. That's rare moments of eloquence. Oh my god, we should get a theme song when someone uses a big word, and then we'll just fucking play it.
Everybody opened up a dictionary this week, it seems.
MZ instead puts the dick in dictionary.
Literally sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The paper cuts are a pain in the ass.
He did fuck a couple of books back in the 90s. That's fair.
Out of all the books, like he is either the dictionary or the Bible. Those are the two he reaches for.
Yeah, Bible first.
The pages are too stuck together right now.
Yeah, I want to roll a joint on it, but I'm like, it's just stuck together. What the fuck? That's you heathen.
Evil Corny just posted a picture of Pee Wee's Playhouse and said, "Superfluous is the word of the day." It's a gif of everyone going, "Ah." But hey, maybe that's a gimmick. Maybe we can add a rare moment of eloquence when someone uses a big word. We'll try to fit it in, and then we need some like fancy music. Like,
oh my God, I love being at the origin of an inside joke. This is so exciting.
I mean, before the only 4-syllable word that Raven Shadow knew was Raven Shadow.
Just because he says it over and over and over.
Jesus. When I write it.
What I want to know is how many people in the audience just did the thing that I did underneath my desk, which was clap out the syllables to see if it really was 4. It is.
I did it too.
Raven Shadow. Oh, okay. Got it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Raven Shadow. So that's what I really liked about it. And it's not afraid to incorporate, as we talked about off the top, current issues, so like socio-political issues that are going on, especially like right now in this fucking country, in America right now. There is some crazy fucking shit going on. It is absolutely like it's staggering at how fucking dumb some of the stuff is going on in this country right now. It's just unbelievable. Like, trans people are like, if you're part of the GOP, if you're a Republican, you think trans people are trying to groom all children. Like, it's like a cult where every trans person is trying to like convince every single child to be trans or something. Like, I don't understand like what they think is going on. I don't want to get to it. This is going to make me mad, but
it's like the old school Nazi playbook. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They've just found a minority that they can blame, that they can dehumanize.
Yep.
Because
as a wedge issue that'll give them more power, and unfortunately they will follow through on those threats. Like, if you think that there is not violence at the end of this strategy, you are fooling yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You are very comfortable in your own privilege. If you think that this is just cynical, it is cynical, but this is going to have real world implications on a minority of people in our country. So if you like watched Indiana Jones and you were like, hey, those Nazis suck. It's actually happening right now in your country this minute.
Yeah.
Do not fool yourself.
Yeah.
If you think same-sex marriage is something you would like to see continue, or interracial marriage, or birth control, all of those things right now are on the chopping block, whether you want to believe it or not. And it's starting with trans people. They're coming for them. Next you.
Like, you know who the bad guys are, right? Like, I mean, like, you guys know you're the bad guys. Like, all the dicks out there. But you guys, I mean, like, you folks, like these fucking C-bombs.
Well, they're not listening because I told them not to. So
Get stepping.
Yeah. Go fuck yourselves. But
yeah,
if you know
and all these people care about is like riling up their base and making money. Like, they're puppets, and they don't care who they fucking hurt. It's disgusting. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, not that I'm avoiding it. No.
The bummer has arrived.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
No.
Let's go talk about. Remember when MZ was having sex with books? That was fun. Let's talk about that some more.
Evil Corny had a great point. Let me just call it out. He says the new Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are not wrong, sir.
There has to be some enemy, if you will, like a marginalized people that are made to be the enemy. And I mean, it's been going on in this country forever. You know, oh well, they're trying to get rid of systematic racism. Let's pivot. You know, like it's disgusting. So,
2 words, manifest destiny, bro.
Yeah, no shit, right? This might be our smartest. This might be our smartest podcast ever. Might be our smartest podcast ever.
You have my script.
I do.
I don't watch NASCAR, but I don't care if you watch NASCAR. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's not generalize either, because I know some people that are cool that like NASCAR. So let's not.
But no, I'm just saying it's not my gimmick. But if you're into it, so say like if you're not into something, you don't have to.
So are you saying if you're into Manifest Destiny, it's cool, but don't bug me with it? Like what? You got to be a little more clear, because this doesn't sound good.
I'm trying to say is like if you're not into shit, you don't have to. Don't fuck it for somebody else. I'm trying to say like mind your fucking business. Go to work, pay your taxes. Don't be a.
Rachel said this. I think almost every time. Don't yuck my yum.
Ooh, I'm using my same punchlines. Gotta mix it up.
Well, it's not your only one. It's one I've heard a few times. But it's one of those things that like, just worry about your own fucking happiness. You know, like who cares if someone is doing something that makes them feel like a fucking human being and a person and like they can live in their own skin? Why is that wrong? It's not hurting you. So, yeah. See, the reason I wanted to get away from this is because I feel like it will just be like a fucking bitch sesh for the entirety of the duration of the film discussion.
We got it out.
Yeah,
you're going down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
Just put the brakes on.
Because it's gonna work me up. It's gonna work us. It's gonna work us all up. So, all right. So yeah. So things I did enjoy. I would say, and I don't. Last thing I want to do is to, nitpick about a movie. I feel. I guess if I were to nitpick, I wish that some of the ideas were seeded a little bit earlier in the film, especially because when someone wore the mask, I mean, there's also kind of an element of discovery as well as you work your way through it. But I'd wonder what was going on with the mask, and it might have been better. And I think the viewer could have been a little bit more sympathetic to what was going on if they knew sort of a little bit more of what was behind the mask earlier. Just a nitpick, because I feel like some of the scenes, there was like a little bit of a montage scene when Angel and Dario, where they're showing that montage of them like being broken up and devastated by the death of their friend, and I feel like it lacked a little bit of impact because I didn't quite understand. Like I feel like it could have been like if there's more gravity behind it, I might have understood a little bit better early on. It was a good scene and nothing wrong with it, but I feel like, so I think if anything, maybe the writing will get a little stronger as Alice continues to make films. So that's really one of the only nitpicks I have. I feel like, we talked about, I like the fact that it covers like tough territory, and also that that it's not afraid to also be violent and brutal when it needs to be, because it's almost like the people who have these messages, like who are spouting this nonsense, they wouldn't hesitate to hurt any of us, any people. So I feel like it's good to kind of highlight the brutality of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need to pass off for a moment.
Yeah, I will say one of the things I appreciate about this, and this is actually something that I can't fully take credit for this. Kay Lynch, who does a voice in this movie, is also the founder of the Salem Horror Film Festival and is a trans woman. And we've had her on the show. She's amazing and brilliant and love her. Absolutely love her. But I remember when that movie They Them came out. I don't know if you guys, I don't think you guys ever covered it. I don't remember seeing that come across my feed. It's quite bad. But one of the issues that she pointed out. Well, you did yourself a favor. But one of the things about it is really nothing happens to any of the campers. And I see there's like two sides to this argument about like, you don't want to see more violence against queer and trans people. Get that. That's a valid take. But what it doesn't do, and what this does, is it doesn't undercut the real world violence and danger that trans people are in. And if we give them the veneer of narrative like armor, then it doesn't present like the real world implications for trans people and queer people. And this movie from a trans filmmaker does not shy away from showing those kinds of stakes. And I think that's really important. And even though it's sometimes hard to watch, but it's kind of the point of this movie. And I think it makes it more powerful by being unflinching about that. It doesn't feel like it's at the expense of queer people. I think it's showing a real world narrative.
Yeah, you put it a lot more eloquently than I could have. I was actually thinking the same thing. Like while I was watching it, I was thinking like, you know, like, ooh, like this is actually surprising that they're showing a lot of violence against trans and queer people. But it's one of those things where I feel like oftentimes we look away from things that we don't want to understand or don't want to see. And so sometimes seeing violence against a certain, you know, like group, like in this case, trans queer, I think is important in a way, especially in the hands of a trans filmmaker, you know, because we can trust that she is doing right by the, you know, by the material. So I think that is important. But yeah, that was one thing I thought of too, was it's interesting that it's not really pulling any punches. And the villain in this is, you know, like it's whoever wears the mask. And it basically amplifies your hatred, you know? Yeah. So if you're already a fucking scumbag, this makes you you know, like a killing fucking murdering scumbag, you know? And makes you all powerful.
So here's a question too. So this is still a fairly new movie. I don't want to. It
just came out on VOD on the 4th of July. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to tiptoe around certain spoilers if folks view this. But having watched the film, we know the origin of the mask. We said the mask. We know the origin of it.
It's all. I think what we could say is it's the origin of it is based in hatred. We can say that without giving too much away, right?
Right, exactly. So I don't know, maybe I didn't get that hatred in the first scene. Because they were all
because I mean that's what I was talking about earlier. Because you didn't know anything about the characters in that first scene, so we didn't know if they were queer, if they were trans, or you know, like we don't know anything about those characters. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, in the second scene, like I'm not sure that character was. I think he was fucking with somebody. I don't know if he necessarily was against their love or their
identity.
Identity, thank you. You know, I think he was more into trying to be smarter than somebody else or trying to show that he seemed more of a stalker to me, and he's using that to manipulate. And then later on we see the wearer. Well, then the story progresses. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to be vague.
Well, I mean, are we talking about the way the mask works? Because I don't want to spoil. I don't know what we are and aren't spoiling, but I feel like that's an important piece of that. That. Can we talk about that?
Brinks. I mean, the mask seems to me somewhere between, for comic fans, the Venom symbiote meets, if Jason's hockey mask would possess you.
Yeah. So I feel like we have to talk about it because it's like such an important part of this. I mean, you can stop me if you want me to, but I feel like it's really important because I think it's one of the ways in which like her perspective really comes through, in that it doesn't possess you the way that something like a demon possession. What it does is it kind of unlocks within you your own biases, your own hatred.
I think it's fair to say, yeah.
Okay. And I think that's super important because what it makes these killers, it doesn't it doesn't let them off the hook. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't whitewash the hatred and allow it to be this weird supernatural out of the world kind of singular kind of hatred. Instead, what it does is it amplifies the banal and all too common biases that people have, that it is so ubiquitous that even these people's friends would harbor these like kernels of hatred, and the way that they can flourish.
Ubiquitous. Sorry. I didn't mean to stop your momentum.
No. But I mean, I appreciate that it makes the killers, all of the killers throughout these 3 different sections, complicit in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that it speaks to the way that these kinds of kernels can grow into like full-fledged homophobia, transphobia, and that in turn can turn into violence. I think that's something specific she's trying to say with this movie. So I had to say it. I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't too far.
It's interesting. So it's almost like when if people have these sort of thoughts and feelings, and if they're like if they find like, let's say like conspiracy theories online, or just something to magnify these and bring them out even further, that that's when sort of it brings it to this point where they would do harm to other people. Yeah, I think that's an interesting and I think you're absolutely right about that was part of it. I was
And it doesn't let you go like, I don't really like trans people, but I'm not that. So I'm not that bad.
Right.
It doesn't, as in the audience, it doesn't let you kind of off the hook in that way. So that's it. All right.
Yeah. Corny says it's kind of like Loki mask from The Mask.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, bad vibes mask.
I haven't seen that in a long time, so I'd forgotten about that. So Eddie Ho has a comment here I want to read. And he says, Alice gets the appropriate anger for where trans people are in their struggles. And although it plays well, when she matures, as the movement does, she will be a powerhouse, replacing some of the raw anger with nuance. He says, T-Blockers is a great sort of invasion of the Body Snatchers film if all the aliens were toxic homophobes. Can't wait till you can see it.
I gotta get my hands on that.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. That does sound really. I did read up a little bit on it. It sounds pretty awesome. But yeah, I think Eddie's right. Is that I think she gets the appropriate anger, and when she does mature and gets some more films under her belt, that replacing that anger with nuance, I absolutely feel could bring it to a maybe a wider audience, because this is still a niche, especially among horror fans. But I could see Alice doing a film that I'm not gonna I don't necessarily mean like this, but like a film like a Promising Young Woman or something like that, where that's not as nuanced, I guess, but like a film that won or is nominated for an Oscar is kind of what I'm getting at. Like a film that has a strong message that is recognized.
This is not a subtle film.
No,
like,
no.
It literally they're literally textual. This is a queer and trans film.
Yeah, yeah.
In the opening, yeah.
And I don't think it has to be subtle. Like, I'm not saying Alice needs to make a drama, with very subtle sort of subtext. I think that Eddie is right, though, that sort of like anger can turn more nuanced into something that can be more widely accepted.
Yeah,
not
she's
that
in her like riot girl phase.
Yeah.
She's like heads to the back right now.
yeah, and that's I don't, and in saying that, I don't mean that I feel like Alice should water down her directing or change or anything like that. But I think it's more of a with more experience,
A maturing.
A maturation process. Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised at some point, maybe sometime in the very near future, if this movie does get the right buzz, that maybe even the Wachowski sisters might want to hire her for some projects that they might be working on.
Sure.
Maybe. I mean, I don't want to say like, it's all trans people are going to stick together, but I mean, the Wachowskis certainly have big name recognition, and have, probably a decent amount of money under their belts to be able to do stuff. So yeah, I mean, something like that, like if they stepped up and produced something or just threw some money at Alice, sure. I mean, I'll be down with that for sure. So we've sort of, like we've talked about, sort of initial impressions. We've talked about some of the things that we liked about this. I want to talk about the filmmaking, the sort of the craft, if you will. And I really think, I mean, there is definitely some stuff in here that I could see was done with a limited budget, but overall, like I thought the look of the film was really good. Like there were some interesting angles. Like I feel like, it was shot well. I thought the lighting really helped this stand out and made it. I feel like good lighting is a way to make your film absolutely stand out from a low budget sort of film. And I feel like that was something that was prioritized in this. So that I thought was great. The gore, like at times, was almost too realistic. It was really pretty gnarly at times, and even some of the dreams or visions that Angel was having of like the hand coming out of her friend's body and the glove and stuff like that, I thought were also really well done and well executed. So I feel like overall, like this film just looks really good, and it is difficult to see the budget when you're watching it, which I think is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Visually, I think this thing, it looks great. I have a technical issue with it. Like, I think the sound mix was off. I don't know if you guys struggled to hear some of it.
I'm glad
that's where I felt the budget.
Syncing was off too. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, that is something I would rather sound issues than visual. But you're right. There was some times I watched it on when Tanya tapped out. I was watching on the TV at first. It sounded fine on the TV, but then when I got to my computer with headphones on, some of the dialogue was especially low. And yeah, so I will agree with that audio mix and syncing.
This is where I was prepared to eviscerate this film.
What? Eviscerate?
Yes, eviscerate.
Going in the barrel.
Eviscerate. The sound mix was a little wonky at times. Also, I saw a couple of the scenes, the exposure was a little bit too low. Like you could see obvious a daylight scene, but it's done very, very dark. So the exposure was really, really low on some of the frames, on some of the scenes rather. Normally, I'm a Tubi-holic, okay, and I hunt down films.
You should go to Tubiaholics Anonymous.
Yes, I should. And
we'll all go to Tubi Anon.
And I watch a slew of these kind of films that are shot in the same way, probably with the same budget, shot the same way, with the same kind of sound mix, same kind of special effects, same kind of editing, same kind of everything. The difference here is that this is done by a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old. Okay. Meanwhile, some of these other films that I have seen that have the same exact traits as this one does are from moderately seasoned filmmakers. They've made films in the past. They continue to make films now, but it seems like they're stuck in this bubble of how their films are made. And there's a slew of these filmmakers that are like that. The difference here, like I said, is that this is done by a 17-year-old. She has time to grow. She has time to mature. She has time to change. She can make things look better. She can make things sound better. She's learning, you know. She's still a student of the craft. So everything that I said as far as eviscerating this film goes is out the window because of that. It's not about the message that she's trying to send, the social commentary that she's trying to say. It's about how to make a film. And at 17, I was, well, I don't want to tell you what I was doing. I was 17.
Yeah, we don't want to know.
Yeah, you really don't want to know. and she's got her head in the right area for this, and she has, like I said, she has time to grow. She's going to get better. She's going to think bigger projects, more elaborate storylines, and better actors, better actresses. And I also want to say that I think the one who played Angel I thought was very, very good. Also, I feel like maybe the only, I don't want to say real actors, but let's say seasoned actors are the ones who had to dispel all the hateful dialogue. Because I think that if you got a regular person who was a non-actor spewing out the kind of hateful rhetoric that these people were spilling out, it would be very difficult for them. I think only an actor can get away with saying the lines of hate that these people had to say. So, kudos to them. And if that's the case, smart choices in casting too, I might add. But like I said, the gore is good. Everything else seems to be fine. But as far as eviscerating that film, it's totally out the window.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Time to go to the West Wing.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to go do something. I'll be right back.
All right, MZ will be right back. So, yeah, I think. Let me get rid of that. I hate that blue Skype thing. There. MZ passing out. There we go. That's better.
Oh, that is, speaking of, that's just some stuff.
just put on a loop. Yeah. I can't remember. Have you heard that story, Rachel? The story behind that gift? Okay.
No.
Actually, I'll wait till he comes back. But let me start by telling it so I don't forget. He made himself laugh. He told a joke. He laughed at his own joke, and at the end of this GIF, right here, when he leans back, he
Yeah.
actually passed out for a moment. You can see he stops
What?
moving. Right there.
Holy shit!
He passed out, and
I
then
once had the hiccups and I passed out, but I have never laughed hard enough to pass out.
laughing
That
at
is-
his own joke.
Oh my
We
God.
we announced the movie that we were doing. At the time, we were going to be doing The Eyes of My Mother. Have you seen that movie by any chance?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then I said something like, "Oh, and we're doing a double feature, and the other film is going to be," and he says, "The Balls of My Father." And he just made himself fucking laugh. Brave Shout, go ahead.
Which, to be fair, is a funny joke. He made a funny joke, and we all laughed. But this motherfucker passed out for real.
Yeah.
And Wolf and I would laugh, and we don't know, because I'm looking at myself on the screen, and Wolfie's doing.
Like, look at the
you know,
three monitors, monitoring
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, as a podcast entertainer, I'm looking at my hair. What wants is zero, but then he literally passed out. And I do have printouts of that available. We can send you. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the story.
belongs on a
He laughed.
t-shirt,
He
man.
Oh man, that's a good idea. He laughed his own joke, and
yep.
he passed out for like 5 seconds.
That's not healthy.
You aren't fainting. Are you even really laughing?
That should be
Nothing-
like a tagline in a comedy movie.
Yeah, not that I'm a paragon of health, but I mean, I passed out a lot.
Paragon, it's a pretty good one.
That's good. Paragon. Yeah, very nice.
I passed out a lot in over the years, but not at one of my own jokes, despite trying. Like,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, and Corny says, and I got blamed for not telling y'all he passed out from Alabama.
That sounds right. That sounds about right, Courtney. Whose head is it? Is that your head that's popping in at one point? I just see a forehead float through
It's
the
probably-
screen,
yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom
that-
right corner.
yeah, that's
yeah.
mine,
Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
We had a different setup in the old studio. Yeah. And Raven Shadow
This is
was
like
laughing.
hypnotic. I can't stop watching. It's like my version of the teacup from Out. I'm just like yeah.
it's like a weird.
I'm
Fucking,
in the sunken place. Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm wherever MZ went when he fainted.
I feel like
He went to
like
the sunken
Jack-
place.
back to the
Uh-huh.
left, back to the left. The fucking Zapruder film. The fucking. The magic fucking pass out.
All right. Well, when he comes back, we'll let him know that we we talked about that. But I do want to start to wrap up the discussion because we do have a few voice messages, and gotta wrap up the show sometime.
Why?
Yeah. This is it. This is life now. This is what we're doing.
Podcast is life.
Another T-shirt idea.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm trying to think of what else we talked about some of the technical aspects. Actually, let me see. I think there was another chat. Eddie says, "I love that game. Finish this sentence at 17. I was blank. ... High most of the time." So.
Mastering the art of beer bonging.
No, I wasn't doing that.
Well, you weren't. All right, you're back now. Looks like you're in the same place.
Oh, look at this baby.
Yeah, this is Big Buns.
Big Buns?
Big Buns or Big Fatty.
I love him.
I'm Big Fatty.
I don't know if you could hear us, MZ, but we told the story of you almost like making yourself pass out from laughing.
Yeah, I saw the
You saw the
gift.
gift?
That was, yeah.
So Rachel is now in the know about that.
Okay.
That is incredible. Do you remember? Like, do you remember the moment you lost consciousness or came back from consciousness?
Oh yeah. I remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole thing.
Like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I just was laughing and I leaned back and I remember seeing the lights, and you know how when you close your eyes and look at the lights, you got like an orange look,
Yeah.
and I just saw that, and I didn't know where I was at the time. Then I remember leaning off to the side, and that's when I woke up, and Heckle and Jekyll were still just talking, and nobody that was watching the feed said anything. And I'm thinking,
You're that
okay,
corny.
Yeah. Nobody paid attention. Nobody said a thing. I'm the only one who
Well,
noticed that I passed out.
We don't expect to
I
see
could've
somebody
died on the
pass
show.
out laughing at their own fucking joke.
Now that I don't know. That I don't know.
You must have like pinched like a nerve or something in the right spot. I don't know.
Well, I asked the doctor about it. I asked
So
my
you don't
doctor.
lie to your doctor like Raven Shadow. Raven Shadow,
No.
would you have told your doctor you passed out laughing at your own joke?
No.
I thought so. Go ahead, MZ.
And he said the same thing. It's like he thinks I pinched a nerve in my neck that caused me to pass out the way I did.
Did you show him the footage?
Did you show him the footage?
No, I don't think I did.
Because that could be
you know what? I think I did. I didn't. No. Listen to me. I showed him the footage, but I didn't have him hear what I was saying.
The balls of my father. You didn't want to hear him. To hear that.
No.
That wasn't for science. Like, well, what was the joke? I'm like, oh, well, that makes fucking sense. Yeah, don't fucking. That's a fucking joke, but don't say that.
Look, I don't know anybody who's passed out laughing at their own joke. That's
no.
Well, no, I mean, I played the footage for my parents, and I told them the joke, and they thought it was funny.
And
Al
they
thought-
died.
Yeah. Al thought
They thought it was funny.
Well, Al did. Yeah.
Al.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Like
I don't
they say,
know.
there's nothing new under the sun, but I think you might be the first and only person in the history of the world who laughed at their own joke to unconsciousness.
That's gonna go on his fucking tombstone.
Yes.
Actually, there is the Monty Python skit where the guy dies laughing at his own joke.
That's you.
And yeah, there's a Monty Python skit in which the author, the writer of the joke, he wrote down the joke, looked at it, laughed so hard that he died.
But that was a movie. This really happened.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, true.
You know, that's the one little bump on that I just can't seem to get over.
All right, well, let's wrap up this film discussion. So, was there anything else you guys wanted to bring up? Actually, one thing I wanted to bring up is the music. I really dug the music too.
I was just going to say that.
And
excellent.
Bill Mosley.
Oh yeah.
DJ?
I'm glad you brought that up. I wondered if anyone else was going to call that out. Did you get that, MZ? Bill Mosley was the DJ.
Was he?
Yeah.
I was trying to find him. Because they said the voice of Bill Mosley, and I was like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he is. He was the DJ.
Yeah.
No kidding. Oh, wow. All right.
Because I didn't get that until I saw it. And I like the credits. I like how they did I'm gonna do it wrong, but her, he, him, them, there. Like they broke down the credits. And I'm not doing it right, but you know what I'm saying? Like
pronouns.
You're doing it right enough. Like your heart is in it. That's right enough.
They broke it down the way how they'd want to be classified, right? And then I'm like, Bill fucking Mosley. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was the DJ. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a nice little thing. That's actually a really good way of getting someone in your film to use them as a credit, but not have them present, for filming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They probably just met him at a con, brought him off to an area.
He could just record his own fucking voiceover and send it in.
Yeah. But I
like,
mean,
just like we fucking
it's
do.
the whole point.
Well,
of,
he's
it's the
on
whole point of
camera. He
posting
is on
him.
camera very briefly. Yeah,
he is?
they do show him. Yeah, they show. If you go back and watch, he puts a record on, and like he's
You never
in
see his
shadow.
face though. Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure.
No, that's him though. If you look, you can get a profile of them eyebrows. That's him.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and the music, you know, if you're gonna be a fan of Dario Argento and sort of like pay homage to his work, like you have to have a good fucking soundtrack, right? You have to have a good fucking score. Yeah. And I did get some slight Goblin vibes, not to the point of, you know, like not to the point of like I felt like it was ripping it off. It was more of an homage. Like I felt like a little bit of that in the DNA of the music, which I appreciated. And as mentioned earlier, like this movie is kind of a punk rock film, and I liked the soundtrack. You know, when they were in the club and some of the other music that like Bill Moseley was spinning and stuff. I really dug the vibe of this, and you know, like if this is going to be the vibe of Alice's films, like I'm on board. I want a lot more of that sort of like punk rock, like sort of dangerous. It felt dangerous because it was so violent and brutal at times, but had a good message in a sense. You know, like it doesn't shy away from dealing with difficult topics, but also I feel like the violence that happened and what occurs near the end of the film was justified, right? Like I don't want to give too much away about the ending, but I feel like there was a way that this movie deviated from your typical sort of supernatural slasher, and I liked the way that it deviated in that there was some finality to things. I felt like that was effective and worked better than having some sort of like like cliffhanger. Did they or didn't they, you know? So
right.
That like last minute like an arm coming out or
yeah. So I did appreciate that. All right, anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we go to the verdict?
I don't think so. I think we touched on most of it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's do the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Bad Girl Boogey was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with our guest, Rachel.
Yeah, I think this movie is definitely a treat. I think you should go back and watch Sovam as well so that you can kind of get in at the ground floor of what I think is going to ultimately prove to be a really important voice in the genre. I think that she represents the next generation of horror filmmakers that we're getting a sneak preview on because she's so young and she's starting so young. But I think that in the same way, you know, we had our Gen X and our millennial filmmakers that are coming up now. She represents that next voice, and kind of the way that they're approaching social horror, I think, is really interesting. And I just think it's a fun supernatural slasher. Like the message we hit on a lot tonight because I think it's so important, but I think it also just sort of stands on itself, like on its own as a horror film, as being a really fun sort of punk indie horror film. So it's a treat for me, for sure.
All right. MZ.
Who's on mute?
MZ. Can't hear you.
Sorry.
He passed out. He fainted again.
Yeah, I was a little concerned.
That was the joke.
Sorry. Habit. Yeah, I'm going to give this a treat as well. There's a lot to like here. What I like most is that you got a director that's very, very young and is going to grow and mature and come with even better ideas. And I'm not saying this is a bad idea. I kind of dig this. It's, you know, supernatural slasher, mask whole deal. The whole, you know, the story itself isn't bad. Okay, the execution of it of on a productive standpoint is a little wonky at times. You know, you're teetering on that fence. But because this filmmaker is so young, you got to give it a benefit of the doubt. So, and that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, this is a treat. Got strong social message, good gore. Acting is a little, typical of this kind of film, of this kind of filmmaking. You see it everywhere. But don't let that hold you back, because this director is going to get bigger. I'm telling you, there's something there. So I'm going to give this one a treat. Yeah. It's a pass for me. Yes.
All right, Michael Ravenshadow.
So I mean, on one hand, this director made a slasher movie. We've seen a lot of those. If you took away their connection to certain social things, it's a slasher movie. But then you up the gangster a little bit by saying that this was done 17-year-old director, with the themes and characters who we haven't seen before, and I think it makes it a little more interesting. And I mean, I get some of the acting thing, but they're Australian. Okay, people are different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They have certain slang that's different. But I can say too,
their
like,
toilets flush the other way. Yeah, you never know.
Happens. Yeah, they flush up. I don't know what that means, but like I've been in that club that they were in several times in the late 90s, early 2000s, so I can relate. I am fascinated by what this director's going to do. When I was 17, all I wanted to do was try to graduate high school and lose my virginity. And fortunately, I did both.
And make comics. You didn't want to make comics.
I did.
Yeah.
I still do, but like, I think I'd be ahead of the game. So I think Alice is well on her way to doing stuff. And I don't think it even really beat you over the head with the themes. I think these people happen to be this demographic. So it's not going to it wasn't like a fucking, what do you want to call it? Sometimes it's just about people who are different that are involved in the same shit. Because you know what? Jason probably doesn't give a fuck what your fucking demographic is. If you're fucking and smoking, he's going to kill you anyway. You know what I'm saying? He don't care who's in the fucking, what do you call that?
Camp counselor Americans.
No, what do you call it when you sleeping bag? It doesn't matter who's in the sleeping bag. He's going to fucking smash you into the tree because he's fucking Jason. Right? So
this is your verdict, man.
I'm just telling you. No, but like I am she did a great job. And I was along for the ride. I liked the Australian El Goro character.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
The cop.
Forgot about that guy.
The cop who had the tear symbol on his forearm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He at times looked like Al Goro. It's kind of funny.
He did.
And to be fair, I'm pretty sure our El Goro would have taken this fucking kid out.
Yeah.
In a fucking
I do love how bad his dialogue is, because it's kind of like the reversal of where it's like kids trying to write adult dialogue and it doesn't sound realistic, and usually it's adults writing teen dialogue and you're like, ooh, cringe.
Stand with you. Yeah. But what are you gonna do?
He was a Nazi and shit.
My fucking talking. I'm 46. He's a fucking Nazi. Punch the motherfucker. Oh yeah, Nazis can't listen either.
Well, yeah, I think that's a
I
good.
feel like Nazis were, that was implied.
Yeah. Well,
hey, if you're a Nazi, you go watch Sisu. You'll love it.
Yeah. Really happy ending for you, fuck. Blankety blank blanks. But no, I mean, this ain't Casablanca, and this is not, movie we're writing about the fucking crazy actors. But this is a treat. Check it out. I think, Rachel, you agree with me. There's a certain amount of runtime that's perfect, and this is a sweet spot for length.
Yes.
So big ups, Alice, and I'm definitely down for what you do next.
Just make sure it's
I am
80.
a runtime queen.
Just make sure it's 80 minutes, please, Alice. All right.
Flash did need to be 2.5 hours.
All
I haven't
right.
even seen it, and I know that's true.
That's why we haven't done Bo is Afraid yet. A little afraid of Raven Shadow, keeping his interest for 3 hours. All right. So for me, yeah, this is a big treat. This was fun. It's always interesting to watch a young filmmaker, their sort of like first films. Like you think of some of like the great like horror filmmakers, Sam Raimi, the Peter Jacksons, who, you know, had this sort of like dangerous vibe to their early work where you like almost feel like you shouldn't be watching it at times, like Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles and, you know, Dead Alive. Those come to mind for me for Peter Jackson. Obviously, you know, we know what MZ feels about Peter Jackson post Frighteners, but that's another story. But you know, and it's kind of cool to be there at the inception. You know, like this is Alice's second film. I'm not saying that Alice is going to go on to do like Lord of the Rings and be like huge filmmaker, but who knows, right? Like, but I feel like this is the sort of genesis of someone's career that will have their career will have meaning, you know, and will touch a lot of people. And I feel like this, instead of going back to watch films that came out 10 years prior, this is like we're kind of there at the genesis of it, at the beginning of, you know, of her career. So that's kind of a cool thing. And this spoke, you know, obviously there's treats all around, and I think it spoke to a lot of our sort of aesthetic as far as horror goes. It didn't hold back. It was pretty brutal at times. It also, like for me, like you guys have heard me say this, like I love horror, but I feel like if you're just making a straight up horror film these days without injecting some, and I'm not saying every film needs to have social commentary, but if you're not angry about something like in the world today, like I feel like something is wrong with you, you know, like, so I feel like that should come through in your art in some way. And if you're being completely benign and not engaging in that anger, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. And there's just so much shit going on in this world that sucks so fucking bad that you know, I'm not saying everyone needs to go out and fucking, you know, make art with a message. 'Cause sometimes art can just be light and fluffy, and that's okay because it can be a diversion, you know, that's fine. But I feel like there's an opportunity to really say something a little bit more. And I know that that's something I've sort of busted on some films for. You had an opportunity to do something and you didn't take it. You know, they maybe tiptoed around it but didn't go all the way. You know, I do applaud Alice for embracing it and fucking going for it. And, you know, that I love that, even if it's not a perfect film, it shows a ton of promise, and it is something that's like created a very interesting conversation among us, and hopefully will create interesting conversations for other people who are like, oh, you got to see this movie. This is what it's about. And then having conversations around that, you know, it's about, you know, someone, you know, a mask that amplifies your hatred and, you know, and like makes you do deplorable, horrible shit, you know, to marginalize people's, you know, or whatever. And I'm trying to be a little sensitive to the spoilers, but
but
you know,
that even
I stomped all over that shit.
no,
Sorry.
no. What you said was fine.
But she even created a cool gimmick. I'm not trying to step on your you know, denouement, Wolfie.
He fucking did it for his own fucking word. You use that word like in every episode.
I know
it doesn't
but it's
work.
Today,
Wait, denouement. That's only 3.
God damn it.
That's not.
But with
God
that,
damn,
though,
it's still only 3. Sorry.
I like 3. You know, Menage a Trois. That's sorry, it's different. Wrong. Sorry.
Wow.
So I think she created a cool mythology with the gimmick, and at the end, it's something we haven't talked about, but like, well, that's something after the fact that we may see again down the. And I think the little.
What the fuck? I'm doing my verdict here.
I'm just helping you.
You're doing fucking ASMR bullshit.
Yeah, I was trying. I see werewolfy. I'm trying to help you, but fine.
I don't need your fucking help. Look, wait. There, that's my fucking
God.
ASMR. I'm
Oh,
gonna
God.
crackling a fucking bag.
Well,
Oh,
You
God.
like that, Raven Shadow?
I'm a podcast entertainer trying to help you, but fine, go ahead.
There, fucking crackling a bag of Bobo's apple pie stuffed oat.
Crackling those that get on
Apple
board.
pie stuffed oat bites. There you go. But no, I'm really curious to see where Alice's career goes, and I can't wait to see T Blockers. It sounds fucking great. I love the premise, and I think it. I mean, I think just with the name alone, I think I can kind of get what she's going for with it. But yeah, I can't wait to see it, and I definitely want to cover it on the show. So when T Blockers comes out, we're doing it. So yeah, treats for me, treats all around. So there you go. Looking forward to T Blockers and anything else that Alice puts out. Actually, one thing I wanted to mention, one more. Where was it? I was looking in the production credits. Was that it? Yeah. Okay. So there are a couple names I noticed in the production credits. Preston Fassel, the author. We've had Preston on the show before. You guys remember, right?
Yeah.
The author.
Preston was an associate producer, and also Rachel had mentioned Kay Lynch is also a producer, executive producer on this, and Kay. I met Kay at MZ. I don't know if you've met Kay, but Kay runs the Salem Film Fest in Salem, Mass. And I went 1 year, like maybe 5 years ago. It was when Faculty of Horror it was their first live podcast from the Salem Film Fest, and I was at that one. And so I know Kay has been a champion of queer cinema for a while. So it's cool to see Kay's name listed as an executive producer, and I think those are the only names I recognize. But yeah, just kind of cool. I wanted to call out. I saw Preston's name in there. So all right. So next week, I had a few options. I wasn't sure where I was going to go with this one, but I had somebody reach out. Horny Corny reached out. Evil Horny Corny. And also, Angry Townsman had mentioned we should do this film when it comes out. So because of that, because we had two people say, you got to do this movie, that's going to move it up the list a little bit. So we're going to hold off on this other one that I had in mind. And we're going to do the film The Blackening.
Okay.
Because it's hitting VOD.
I've been waiting for this one a long time.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
So The Blackening is hitting VOD, I think tomorrow, or maybe hit today or tomorrow. Anyways, it is directed by Tim Story. I think we talked about this a little bit on the show previously, but he directed like Fantastic Four, Barbershop, yeah. Shaft. He did the Shaft with Sam Jackson.
Christian Bale.
Ride Along 1 and 2. He's done some stuff with Kevin Hart. So he did. He directed The Blackening, and the poster, I think it says all you need to know. On the poster it says we can't all die first.
Yeah, one of the greatest taglines in the history of film. I love it.
So we will be talking about The Blackening next week.
That'll be fun.
Have you seen it, Rachel?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was fun. It's very fun. It's
yeah,
very fun.
yeah. It looks like it could be.
So
I can't wait.
So yeah, so we'll do that next week. I looked at the cast and I saw Diedrich Bader's in it.
Oh, yes, he is.
And I see his name.
Very funny in it.
I see his name, but I'm not going to mention it because I feel like it's kind of like a bit of a joke. So I won't say. Yeah, Angry says I can't wait to hear your reactions and thoughts. So because Angry and Evil Corny were really pulling for this one, we just bumped it ahead. Skeletron says, wait. I just got back. Who passed out to their own joke? That was MZ.
That was me. That was me.
All right, we do have some voice messages, so let me get these queued up. So I want to make sure I didn't miss any. All right. So first up, we just mentioned his name. He recommended we do The Blackening as well, but let's hear from Evil Horny Corny.
Hey guys, what's up, Rachel? I'm gonna give Batgirl Boogie a treat. I saw this movie late last night. I really liked the mythology behind the mask and everything, and it has some really neat kills on it. I really can't wait for this director to have like a, better budget or, a bigger film. Being so young, she has a lot of time to hone her skills, but for like a second movie, I thought this was pretty cool. You all have a good one. Evil Corny out. Oh, before I forget, Horny Corny, I think back in the day when you were doing Throw Down Thursday, Wolfie, I think Ashes slipped up and called me Horny Corny on the episode. So, yeah, it wasn't my first time hearing that from, Trick or Treat Radio side or Grand Guignol side. But you'll have a good one. Evil Corny out.
All right. Rocky, the gauntlet has been laid. We got to come up with a new nickname for Horny Corny.
Yeah, I didn't remember that when we were talking about it last night, but I think I do remember that now. So, cool. Looks like Corny enjoyed Batgirl Boogie. Although one thing, mentioning the name, I wondered where the title of the movie came from. Is it a what's that? Bad Boy Bubby? Is that the name of the movie?
Oh yeah, Bad Boy. Yeah, Bad Boy Bubby. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Is it anything like? Is there any? Because that was an Australian film, right?
I believe it was.
Wasn't there a country western song called Boot Scoop Boogie? Boot Scoop Boogie.
Yeah. Okay, so it was an Australian film. Yeah, it was Australian from 1993, black comedy. So that's the only thing I thought of was like, well, it was Bad Boy Bubby. Was it a kind of a play on that Bad Girl Boogie?
Maybe.
So you've seen Bad Boy Bubby, right, MZ?
Yeah, a long time ago. Maybe 10 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
And I can honestly tell you that I don't remember a thing about it.
All right. So
not because I thought it was bad. I just don't remember.
Yeah, it's just been a while.
But I do know that I saw it.
Yeah, I remember you bringing it up on the show before. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's a connection. Kind of a play on words with
possible.
that. Yeah. All right, we got a couple more. Let's hear from Carlitos.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know if I can do it. You want to do it, Raven Shadow?
Carlitos.
There we go. Let's hear from him.
Hey
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio, it's Carlitos.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? And guest host Rach. Hold on a sec. Rachelitas! How are you doing? So I've been on the call more, but this summer's been really busy. A summer with many highlights. So if you follow me on Facebook, then you guys would know. But one of those highlights I like to share is that I got to meet the one and only Nick Castle, Michael Myers himself. He came up to a horror con up in Sacramento, and I went and got to meet him. He's a super nice dude, really friendly guy, until I told him about MZ. We were just talking. He seems to genuinely like to talk to his fans and all that, but after I mentioned that, I knew this guy who called himself Monster Zero, thought Halloween was like a very poorly made film, and then like all that demeanor just kind of he did a 180. He was like Mr. Smiles, and then he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, but I was like, yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's no big deal. He's like, no. Halloween's a classic. How could anybody think that? And I was like, I don't know. And then he asked me why, and then I told him about the whole parking situation, and I was like, and he's like, what? And then I was like, yeah, I don't know, whatever, whatever, people are entitled to their opinions, but he's like, no. Do you know where this guy lives? Like, I don't know. I don't really. I just said, I know he lives in Maine, but that's about it. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go over there. I'm going to call my buddy Stephen King, and we're going to find this guy. I was like, well, you don't want to do that. It's like too late. It's like, okay, all right. Well, so that's how that went. Then as a joke, because I like to crack jokes, I said, hey, why don't you might want to give the San Diego Chicken a call too, just for kicks. And he's like, yeah, I think I will. It's like, oh, I know him. Okay. So that's how that went. Sorry, MZ, you might get a few visitors later down the road. So now that Rachel may have questions about parking situations in the movie Halloween and the San Diego Chicken, I'd like to give a quick shout out to a buddy of mine, a buddy that I work with, named Mo. He has a YouTube channel called Mo's Toy Room, and he reviews action figures of the, from companies like Mezco and what's the other one, NECA, and probably McFarlane if he's still doing that stuff. And he leans on the horror action figures, so like figures of Michael Myers, Jason, etc. And he actually he put up a video of his trip at the horror con called Sinister Creature Con, and I make a guest appearance. And if you guys want to check it out, check his channel out, because I think the audience here might find it interesting. So there you go, Mo's Toy Room. He was also a former wrestler named nice. He called himself Super Diablo. So there's that. So just want to finish this off by kind of in honor of Nick Castle, since we were talking about Nick Castle. I got a tune I'm going to play with you guys right now. Just give me a minute here. Hopefully this won't get you demonetized or whatever, or flagged rather. So here we go.
This is giving you the like horrible flashbacks, MZ.
I got a rumbling in my tummy.
Banana fingers. Thank you, Asia. Thank you very much for your rendition of the Halloween theme. Thank you. All right, guys, that is it. I will see myself out, so I'll check you guys later.
Oh, shit.
I love Carlitos. He's so funny. All right, I need to hear about this chicken.
Wait, was Asia playing that on piano? Like, I didn't know at first until I heard it abruptly end and then banana fingers. That was awesome. That was fucking cool. Actually, Carlitos, let us know if she was playing that live. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
You got some talented kids.
Yeah, I got mad heat with Asia.
She's never forgot about it.
I know.
Why don't you eat a fucking banana the right way, and maybe people will lay off.
Don't embarrass me in front of Rachel, but she had a question.
You embarrassed you in front of Rachel. All right, and MZ, do you want to tell the San Diego Chicken, or you want me to summarize quickly?
I just have this real disdain towards the San Diego Chicken.
Who is
now
the
you
San
living in
Diego
San Francisco? Okay, so you don't know. San
No.
Diego Chicken is the official mascot to the San Diego Padres baseball team.
Okay.
Now, how a chicken relates to the clericals, I have no idea, but here we are. I hate this goddamn thing. Okay, Google it. San Diego Chicken.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, and he was on a show back in the early 80s called The Baseball Bunch. Okay, started Johnny Bench. And he was like the comic foil of the
Parallel
show.
universe when I'm on here.
He was like the comic foil of the show. Basically, the show was, yep, there he is.
Yeah.
And basically the show was Johnny Bench and another guest who played pro ball at the time would come in and teach kids the fundamentals of baseball. And the chicken would get involved in their routines and learning how to, throw, hit, catch, field, whatever. And up in every possible way, and
this
he would
is
put
way
himself
too
in
long.
situations
Come on.
where
Johnny, can you
where he
summarize,
would be
please?
mocked. And that's basically it. But he's so obnoxious about it. I just couldn't stomach it. And I just can't stand him.
Who name a better baseball mascot, MZ?
Philly Fanatic.
So there's a Philly Fanatic. So, but the funny thing is, MZ, like, we call it cutting a promo, like when a wrestler does this thing, like cut to, Bobby Heenan, you son of a bitch, like whatever, like that's MZ cut a promo on the San Diego Chicken. Like it was like 10 minutes. He was just fucking going off. The next week, he almost died choking on a piece of chicken. He swallowed chicken. He had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because it got lodged in his fucking throat. So the San Diego Chicken got its fucking revenge.
So this is a dangerous conversation we're having right now. This might be the end of MZ.
Like,
Hold
what
your
are the
guys,
fucking
just gonna get ya.
What are the fucking chances, right, of him like running down the San Diego Chicken, and then in that week he almost dies from fucking choking on his chicken?
Coincidence?
Yeah, well,
think so.
I had chicken with pasta tonight, and look at me, I'm still alive. So.
Slow it down. There's still leftover.
Yeah.
And the slow burner.
The funny thing is, MZ used to, correct me if I'm wrong, MZ, but used to be allergic to chicken, right? Yeah, he used to be allergic to chicken. He grew out of it.
Tell that story how he grew out of it. When you came home drunk and had chicken.
So wait, he's allergic to chicken his whole fucking life. And one night he comes home drunk. He's hungry. He's like, fuck it, I'll just have some chicken. And that's how he found out he was no longer allergic to chicken. Can you believe this fucking shit? The dude was so hungry.
So pickled now? You're fine?
He was so hungry that he put his fucking life at risk.
MZ, I love you so much, dude. You are such a fucking amazing human being. Then when you ate the peanut butter, by accident?
Well, he had was that the he had the cheesecake or something.
Yeah,
I mean, that John got from Cape Cod.
Yeah, he almost
Are you
died
allergic
there
to
too.
peanut butter? Oh.
No, this was the night after we did that puppet show over at Tiny's place.
Oh yeah.
That is not a sentence I expected to hear tonight.
No, that was at the Manor. That was at the Manor.
No,
When you had
no, that was at Tiny's. That was at Tiny's.
Where? There was another time then, Brave Child, because the one he is talking about was recent.
Okay, because I would mention about the saltwater taffy that Tron got from and that was all clearly marked.
How many times have you cheated death? Peanut butter, chicken, laughter. Like everything is deadly to you.
No fucking.
The trifecta of danger zone for you.
And I had COVID 3 times. So,
COVID 3-time champion.
Yep. I don't know, man. I don't know what's keeping me alive. I have no idea.
Your hatred of the fucking San Diego chicken.
Yeah. And Gene Simmons.
Chris Pratt.
And Chris Pratt and Will
Gene-
Smith.
and Will Smith. There's someone else. Who was the other one?
No, that was it. Chris Pratt, Will Smith, Gene Simmons, and the San Diego Chicken.
That's his Mount Rushmore of hate.
I want to make a T-shirt. You know, like they'll just be the names going down. Gene Simmons, Chris Pratt, San Diego Chicken,
And Will Smith. And then
peanut butter.
And then peanut butter. And then the back it'll be like a Mount Rushmore of all four of their faces. That's the next T-shirt.
Yep.
I love you so
Man, we're
much.
just printing money tonight with these ideas.
Right. Just rain money with that kind of an idea.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, we got one more voice message. Carlitos, thanks for calling in, buddy. That was fucking awesome. Tell Asia she is super talented. All right. Let's hear the last one. I don't know who this is from, so let's just play it.
Hey there, fuckos, it's Rocky. Now, I know last week I had to give a ration of shit to Johnny and Raven Shadow for their fucking lies about me. But this week I gotta say, Monster Zero, if you insist on fucking corpses, can you not leave them on my lawn? It looks like the goddamn set of Porno Holocaust, you sick bastard. I'm telling you, this fucking trick-or-treat radio is like school on Saturday. No class.
Oh.
Oh my god, I love Rocky. He's such a maniac.
That's right. So, I don't know if you guys knew, but Rachel came on the Star Wars podcast. Yeah, he did. And so she got to hang out with Rocky.
Nice.
That was a good time.
Yep. At about like the 3-hour mark, he was just like, okay. He was like on a mission to weird me out, and I was like, buddy, good luck. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. All right, well, that is it for voice messages. Carlitos is actually watching on YouTube, and he said, indeed, it was Asia. That's
shit.
That's fucking awesome. Maybe Asia should play our theme song or something. Maybe she could come up with a new theme song.
Yeah, let's work on that.
I feel the progression over the years. No, I love Carlitos so much. I want to give that to.
You know what? It's a weird thing to like see, like someone who met us through the podcast, and like to see their family grow, and like it's such a weird thing, but it's so cool. Like, like he's had his daughter Asia on the air, when she said banana fingers for like 6 years or something like that, and each time we could see the progression of like her getting older, and she's probably like, Dad, don't make me fucking say this again. Like
Your friends are weird.
yeah. But it's I don't know. It's just one of those cool things. Like we get to sort of like see other people grow and their families and all that stuff through the podcast. I don't know. It's just one of those cool little things I haven't really thought about a ton. But I think is super interesting. And
it's kind of like our own audio slideshow that you find on the internet of the father and the son, or the father and the daughter taking the same picture in the same place year after year.
Yeah. Except it's saying banana
Cats
fingers.
in the cradle and the silver
Yeah.
spoon.
They're fucking with me. It's fucking good. My balls. But no, it's about being a brother, man. Being a brother and a sister, man. And it's just being down, man.
What is it? It's like being down, man. Like what? Say what you mean.
Being down. And yeah, Carlitos knows. Rachel knows.
I got you.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say, this is sort of related. It's kind of a sad thing. But so in the history of this show, we've been doing it almost 11 years. We had a listener and a Patreon supporter pass away a few years ago. Rest in power, Riku. And that sucks. It's one of those things. But this week I found out someone I used to work with passed away just a few days ago, within the last week. And he and I, we didn't work together super closely or anything, but he was he was in a different discipline. He's a coder, and so and if anyone has worked with coders, I'm not trying to generalize, but a lot of times, a lot of the coders I've worked with, anyways, in my experience, I don't have a lot in common with them, or I haven't, but
a certain mindset. To
yeah.
Kind of job.
I get along with artists and designers and things. But he was one of the cool engineers that was this dude is fucking awesome. And we didn't really we never really hung out or anything like that. But anyways, a couple years ago, he reached out to me and was like, "Hey man, I started listening to your podcast. I love it." He's like, "Do you mind if I send in my thoughts about some movies?" I was like, "No, man, of course." So he never sent in a voice message, but he sent in emails, and he hadn't emailed in a little while. But he was always kind of lurking in. Sorry, he was always kind of lurking in Discord. And if anyone knows his name was Baka Chewy, was his name in Discord. So I wasn't sure what I was going to say. I haven't really thought about this, but something about family. He just passed. I'm not really. It's not my place to say. I think it's not really super public knowledge. I don't know if anyone that listens to this would even know him, but it's not my place to say it. So I'm not going to say it was an accident. But he and his wife, who is also awesome, that I met and talked to on several occasions, recently adopted. And he became a father a year ago. And that really fucking destroyed me. Not only did we lose someone, and he was a really great dude, but it just, I don't know, really fucking hit me that this dude, was trying to be a dad, and he and his wife adopted. And I don't know. That just really fucked with me, kids, maybe was with his dad for a year, So it just really, kind of hit me hard this week. And just something else I was gonna. Oh, I don't think there's any relation to this. But they named their son Wolfie. I can't imagine there's any connection because that would just be crazy. He listened to the show here and there. I don't think he would have used that to name his kid. But so I always just felt this kind of Wolfie, yeah, this kind of connection to this kid. You gonna say something, Raven Shadow?
Why not Raven Shadow?
Really? You're gonna say that now?
Come on, you knew this was gonna come up. You knew it was gonna.
I'm having fun with you.
So yeah, I just I'll I'll just use his Discord name. Just rest in peace, Bakachui. He was a great dude, and it just sucks, man. Like we've that's the second listener. I mean, I guess he's a friend, and a coworker. But it's the second person who listens to the show that we've lost in the time that we've been doing it that we're aware of, So I just wanted to just mention it, and it's something I've thought about, but I thought that maybe sort of like talking about it a little bit on the air would be good, and you guys may not remember. I actually looked for his one of his email reviews, but I couldn't find it. Because I don't know what to look under. Like I don't know what he didn't use his real name in his email. And I remember mentioning, you guys might remember this. Sorry. He sent I think it was like a note like a notepad file that he sent with his he didn't include it in the body of the email. He actually sent a file, like it was like a notepad file that he sent with his like thoughts on the film, which I thought was super funny. I was like, I think it's the first time we've ever gotten someone send like a notepad file with their thoughts on a film. So, rest in peace, Bakachui. He was a great dude, and I hope Wolfie grows up to be like his dad. So sad stuff. I don't mean to end the show on a sour note, but I just wanted to make sure I brought that up.
No, I'm sorry, but I remember that name, and, and I'm sorry that we lost a good brother.
Yeah, it's it's just one of those things. Like we've been doing the show 11 years, and we can say that we know two people that have passed, from that were listeners of the show. It's just a weird thing, So, all right. And my voice is just fucking done. I'm fried. So
I know.
Trying to
like you're getting further and further underwater as the show goes on. Like it's in your voice.
I can lay. It's funny. I can lay back a little bit on the Star Wars show because I think it's the live factor. It's like because we're live, it's a little bit more performative, and we do have a longer show, so I mean that could be part of it. But yeah, I think it's catching up to me. So.
Buddy.
All right, well, let's say our goodbyes. And Rachel, please let folks know where they can find your work, your podcasts, and all that good stuff.
Sure. If you want to follow the podcast, we are you can find us under Zombie Girls on all of your podcatchers, including Until It's Gone Stitcher. If you want to follow us on social media, the best place to do that is probably on Instagram, I guess maybe now Threads, Twitter at ZG Podcasts. That's podcasts with an S. If you want to follow me, if you want to see my work, it's at pride.com. And if you want to just follow me because you're cool or a creeper, one or the other, ZG, you can find me at Rachy Pants on Twitter and I think on Threads as well. I don't know. And Instagram, all that stuff.
All right. So everyone go check out Rachel on social media. Go follow her podcast. Listen to him. It's really good stuff. Raven Shadow will tell you.
I'm going to tell you.
Now I know who that one listener is. It's awesome.
All right. Let's go around and say our goodbyes to Rachel and the listeners, starting with MZ.
Thanks, Rachel, for showing up tonight. Always good to see you.
You too. You too.
Thank you. Love that hair.
Thank you.
Thanks
so much.
And arrivederci, douchebags.
It's a great follow-up. All right, Raven Shadow.
Rachel, once again, thank you for bringing some class to this organization. But big fan of the Zombie Girls Dynasty. Love all the shows. I love even your boy who has a very odd love of Twilight, which he's got to let it go.
My God, it has to stop.
Yes,
It has to stop.
I get it. But it's gonna go. But no, he's a good brother. Big fan. I mean, you're kicking all the ass. Actually, I took Oliver for a walk early today. We were trying to find some ass. We couldn't because you kick it all. Because such a great job and all your 9 to 5 job and the podcasting endeavors. So big fans, check her out. If you listen to one podcast this year, check out the Zombie Ghost Network. If you listen to 2, check out Talk Without Rhythm. Listen to 3, check out Trick or Treat Radio. But until then,
jeez,
live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on. Nuge.
Well, now we know where we are in Raven Show's podcast hierarchy, so it's all right. It's good company. We'll take it. You're just mad that someone didn't name their kid after you.
I am a little pissed off.
All right, that is going to do it. So I'm not going to ramble too much because I don't want to talk anymore. I'm fucking sick of talking. I played the wrong thing. There we go. That's the right thing. So, yeah, next week we'll be talking about The Blackening. If you guys want to check it out, it's going to be hitting VOD on the 7th of July, tomorrow. So it'll be available. You can check it out. If you have thoughts, send them our way, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Go check out Bad Girl Boogey, and it's on VOD. Or I'm going to check out Alice's other film, So Vam, on Shudder. So go look for that as well. And, yeah, I guess that's it. So next week we'll be back with episode 572. I'm talking about The Blackening. And also, if you're a Patreon supporter, go let us know what you'd like for us to do on the 11-year anniversary. If you're not a Patreon supporter, get on that, and then you can tell us, because we want your input, and we may even ask for your participation. So check it out. All right, everyone, that's it. We'll see you next week.